Hi? Hello? Is it working? Can you hear me?
Hey,
Hello.
Hello. Welcome,
hello.
everyone. Welcome, everybody, to 1 year. 1 year of Q&A streams. We did it. We're done. That's all our contracts had. We just after this one, we're done. No, I'm just kidding. We actually have a question about whether or not if we're going to continue Q&A streams in
Yeah.
this slide, so it'll be fun to talk about. But yeah, welcome everybody to April 2022. We 1 whole year. We started last year, 2021, doing these Q&A streams to let you guys in on what we're up to. Any of your hot questions, hot takes, we can you can get reactions or answers. So yeah, my name is Nick, aka Gocnak. I'm the project lead of Momentumon. I'm joined with some of my wonderful teammates here. We'll just go down the Discord list. You can introduce yourselves, and we'll get going. We got quite a couple of questions this time, over 30, I think. So let's get going.
Sure. Well, there's Aaron in the Discord, but
There's chilling. It's all good.
yeah. I'm here. I'm False. I'm the lead 3D artist for the team. Recently we just completed a big gun project, plasma gun. You'll be seeing in Team Showcase, and if you go to General Defrag's channel, you can see that there too. But yeah, and also we'll be doing the jump campaign as well.
Let me wait. No, yeah, it's me.
It's you.
I'm Tom. I'm like collecting roles like Pokemon these days. So I'm a bot developer now, according to the Discord.
Oh yes.
So I've been doing a bit of that lately, and a bit of web stuff, but mostly lately I've just been doing Panorama because all our UI panoramas are UI, and we need to finish it, and it's almost finished. So been working on that. No. Got.
Well, yeah, I already went. So last but not least, we got Happy.
Hi. Hello.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently I do stuff. I'm one of
Music.
yeah, I do music. I'm one of the sound designer. I'm also future localization fella on this team, and
Coming very soon, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much all.
Heck yeah. All right. I want to apologize in advance. My voice is a little nasally, and I might sneeze a couple of times. It's been fun dealing with allergies, and spring is rolling in. So let's go ahead, get started with the first question here. It's kind of the given, right? We wanted to incorporate this into every Q&A stream. What has everybody been up to? So I guess False, you went first and kind of in your section there. If you want to talk about what you've been up to with your work there. Gun.
Yeah, mostly just gun. That's the main thing that I've been up to. I don't really know any other significant thing, but yeah, that's been occupying most of my time.
Yeah,
Just,
and it looks
designing
amazing.
and creating and reiterating.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see a lot of that soon. There's some really exciting work happening right now, actually. In last month, we've had developments with C model system. So we're actually gonna get a lot of the game art, like in game, like all the player models. You're gonna start seeing that as well very soon. Spring Scale, who's our animator, dedicated animator. She's doing some good work right now. Yeah, just stay tuned. Coming very soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge for customization. So for those unfamiliar, the C model system is what kind of TF2 and sort of what CSGO uses. CSGO uses like a slightly modified version of it, but it allows you to have different arms with different weapons, basically just like merged in with the arms. So all you do, right, is you just have the arms with the animation of like firing a gun, and then you bone merge, right, a random model that just matches with the fingers of the model, like of the arms. So you can actually just have unlimited cosmetics. You just need the model with the correct bones on them, and so that way you can actually just have unlimited cosmetics. Though for our cosmetic store, we're going to be a little more tedious with like what's officially added. We don't want like everything, but we also want a good selection of stuff to work towards and unlock to represent yourself. But yeah, so really excited to get that in. and start seeing some of these models and animations in place.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And then we'll move on to Tom. Tom, what have you been up to?
Many things.
Streamed for
Graphs.
fucking 7 days. I've been doing graphs. A big graphy guy, which we'll show off a bit later. Been making that. Pretty good. Big graph. And I've got like 4 branches in progress at the moment for Panorama. That are all coming together for the end of 091, basically. I was sort of waiting on some C++ work before I could get back to it, and then it sort of all happened at once. Or some stuff we decided we were going to leave, so now I kind of need to finish up a thing, and then anyway, it's mostly just 091 cleanup stuff at the moment. I've got a bunch of other stuff I want to get back to. I want to get back to helping out with web work, but
Yeah.
right now it's really just like full steam ahead Panorama stuff, which has been really fun. It's just with UI, it's so easy to be a total perfectionist about it, which means it just takes ages because I just keep iterating on stuff. But yeah, we're nearly done. So.
And if you've been catching the streams on this channel, you can
Yeah.
see some of that work in progress. We're going to be showcasing a little bit of it after the questions get answered here. So stick around.
I've done over 600 runs of CTF2 Fort in the last week.
CTF2 Fort world record holder
CTF2
in this call.
I've got like a 4 second, 4.7 seconds, something like that. Pretty good.
That is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's excellent to see all of this UI work come together, basically culminating in 091. 091 is going to be huge, maybe not in the changelog length, because a lot of it is like, oh yeah, ported the UI, right? But so much work went into it that it's like, it's not just, implement the map selector. It's like, rewrite the map selector, effectively, because we had, the new UX flow basically dictates, like, we need not only to deal with another layer of JavaScript and C++, but, like, the new UX with that. So, like, buttons need to download a map instead of adding it to library and stuff like that. So, a lot of fun.
It's one of the things where we just didn't quite realize the scale of it getting into it. And now, like, if you told me you've got to redo all of this again, like, I would hit you. Like,
don't worry. Yeah,
so much stuff that, like, we kind of, each time we started working on something, we realized, oh, this is actually really hard. And then that just happened over and over again. And now we're finally through just this mountain of shite. It's great.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to see how people like it. Playtesters have been seeing sneak peeks of it because we kind of do a rolling stable branch, right, where we just kind of push updates because we got to fix stuff. But that also, lets you see like the end of run panel before it's really finished. So when it's finally all together and polished, I'm really excited to see everybody's reaction there. So yeah, awesome stuff there. Any other bits that you wanted to add there? Because you have been doing a lot for that.
We'll go through some of it at the end, if anything.
Gotcha.
Quiet now, so we get to the end.
All right.
And then I can
True.
rant about it.
True that. As for me, I've been basically hooking up all of that panorama work to C++ where I can, mainly the end of run, HUD comparisons panel, also the toast manager, little notifications that pop up because, the static panels that overlap when you have multiple warnings is not good. So we have a new solution for that. Can't wait to show that off as well. And I've just been also doing a lot of code review still, a lot of administrative work with working with the other developers and getting their code merged in. So very fun there. As well as looking into porting our blog to a new static site generator because we don't really use Tumblr for its social features. And it's okay, but it's like it could probably be better if it was an open source repo, and we end up writing essentially Markdown anyway. So just been doing a lot of kind of fun stuff there, working with Tom, working with other devs, and looking forward to writing the 091 changelog. So look forward to that. It's gonna be a large one, mainly because it's just going through each of our UI that we've like rewritten. Passionately slaved away on for the last like 6 months, so should be fun there. Cool. And then I guess happy. Have you been up to any new songs in the work?
There are one payday track that I supposed to do, but I have like final exams this summer, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna like mix them.
One moment. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I guess I'm waiting for the UI so I can actually make some localization. Yeah. So that's pretty like much all for me, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, and there are more people on the team. What everyone in particular has been up to, we do have another question about the developers and where they've been assigned, so I'll answer that down the line. But we do have Spring Scale working on animations for the models that False have been, making, and then we do have, a ton of like mapping effort. We have Nerdman working on the website. There's Traz working on like graphic design as well as the 091 release video as well. So there's a lot to cover here, but I don't want to like miss anything and like assume.
You mentioned learn stuff.
Oh yeah, a ton of learn stuff actually. We've gotten a lot of progress made on learn maps, which we're also going to show more of after questions here. So
learn's really interesting because there's always a big there's like every different mode is like at a different stage of progress. But we have, apart from AHOP, we have work being done on every one. So
yeah, so it's we're all up to great stuff. And I don't want to speak for everybody, but we are doing excellent stuff. And I can't wait to show off just like all the bits and pieces after these questions. So without further ado, I guess we'll go to our first official asked question here. Who wants to read the questions? Should I do it this time? I never read the questions before.
I could do it.
Okay.
Because
yeah, just be my voice.
I can't do an impression of you. You're just like default American to me.
Yes.
So
guns.
Also, people asking chat, we'll maybe get to at the end. We're not going to answer right now because we want to keep stuff structured. Okay, so Tofu asks, will there be unranked leaderboards for playing maps in unintended modes?
This is a great question. So sort of. It depends on what the mapper wants to allow. So I think when it comes to like cross map, like a defrag map being played on AHOP, right? We could do that where we have, this map works for these other modes. So we could actually add like straight up ranked leaderboards too. Like we want to allow, like in the future, we want maps to be viewed as environments. So they aren't necessarily per game mode. We want to allow mappers to basically design environments that could apply across different game modes that could that work there. So people that are used to maybe sticky jumping through a rocket jump map or something could still play and have in either unranked or ranked leaderboard depending on what the community feels. But we plan to have these tools where we either have that unranked, you get maybe cosmetic XP for it, or straight up ranked, you can just play the map in either mode, and we have it in the map selector. You can choose which mode, official mode, that you want to play for it. But absolutely, yeah, that we don't want to segregate in terms of like, a map is only for one specific game mode. Right now, that's kind of how it is, just because that was when we were a surf and bunny hop game. that's kind of what we assumed. So so we will plan to have kind of just in map settings, being able to enable different game modes for your map. And then in the map selector, it'll be able to handle it. So when you go to click play, it'll pop open like a little menu to like, hey, which game mode do you want to play on this map? And by default, you could like select like a default mode, maybe the map was made for defrag, but it supports AHOP, so you can have it that way. Or maybe a map is just, it supports all of these modes equally, right? Like it was made for all of these modes in mind. And that way you can just equally have them there. So we'll have some sort of UX around that, both on the website and in the map selector. But absolutely, it'll be very nice to have kind of just like a good like temporary leaderboard for maybe like unintended modes. And then just as the community kind of starts to play or like give consensus on whether or not it should be a supported leaderboard, we can even make it ranked. That's the beauty, right, of our rank point system, is we can always add a ranked like leaderboard later. So as long as, and like even an unranked leaderboard we can add later too. So like as long as we make the system that we're going to have in place for the maps, and on the map selector, be able to support it post, up, like, I guess post release or something of the map, absolutely. Yeah. Was there any other input for this question? No. All right, thank you, Tofu. Move on to the next one.
Waffle asks, will there be tutorials for each game mode for new people? Yeah.
Excellent question. Yes. Do you want to take this, Tom?
Well, okay, yeah, I guess I can. We don't have any of the main like learn mappers here. I made some of the UI for it, but honestly, that was like a couple of afternoons of just pissing about with JavaScript. So overall, in the long-term plan of Momentum, we have two goals for learn stuff. In that we're going to have tutorial stuff. We're going to have the learn mode, which is a dedicated section of the UI, which essentially takes you around specific maps and has specific bits. Oh, Granis is here as well, one of the learn mappers. Specific maps and has a bunch of like in-game like HUD hints and stuff. It's a kind of not overly in your face, but like hopefully quite instructive, sort of interactive map you play through and learn and practice techniques. Where the idea there is we're not just doing stuff for new players, but we essentially want to just enumerate all the like different techs in like every different mode, including like tier 6 sticky jump nonsense, and have sections in the learn section for that. We have some basic. We have the beginnings of that in already. It's very much a work in progress, but essentially we made it as easy as possible for our mappers to just make stuff and get it moved over to the game really easily. Have you got the Momentum Man thingy? You don't have the heavy voice.
No, I don't. Unfortunately.
We'll probably go through thanking subs properly at the end.
Yes.
But we're also gonna have the campaign, which is further down the line. That's well after 1.0. It's 2.0, literally. And there we'll have something that's a bit more of a sort of regular game where you're sort of learning the techniques in a much more sort of linear, not just linear fashion, but it's a bit more sort of
guided
baby mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the idea of the learn section is we want an easy place for you to learn the basic techniques that you can then go into the maps on the map selector and apply.
Yes.
So each game mode will have the really basic stuff. Like it's not necessarily going to be sort of like a million different techniques to learn. It's more so like the really cool
core mechanics.
Doing sticky jump, just you start with a single sticky, then you do the double sticky, and you do some air strafing, and then you get into like the crouched, underhanded, like vert, backflip, whatever. And we'll have actually in the future in the UI, we'll actually link you to like suggested like beginner maps as well. We'll pick out some maps from the map selector that we like and be like, oh, here's a really good tier 1 AHOP map to practice like this technique on, that sort of thing. And for most like AHOP, it's really important because it's like a very unintuitive bunch of movement. And we really want to give new players coming into Momentum like a much softer landing than they'd otherwise get, because like the reality of Momentum is that pretty much every mode's movement is pretty hard. Like it takes like some effort to like even be able to beat tier 1s and everything, right? So yeah, with softer landing, hopefully. So yeah.
But yeah, it's paramount, right? Momentum Mod being a free-to-play platform will be the first game that a lot of people will be exposed to a lot of these modes for. And it is kind of our responsibility here to introduce, right? And we have the ability to, right? So we absolutely should. It prolongs our sense of competition too, because the more that you can lower the barrier to entry to get people in, the more competition you're going to end up having in the long run. Sorry. Mucus. It's very fun. Yeah, so absolutely. Tutorials will be part of the game. We want it to be.
And I just want to add that currently we've just started adding some of the Bhop stuff. Sticky Jump's been in for a couple of weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've got the hiccups.
We're falling apart.
If you've got access to the game, if you don't, I might write some more nonsense in chat later that will help. You can go in and test those, and we'd really appreciate feedback. So we have Learn Sticky Jump and Learn Bhop channels in Discord at the moment. We'll add channels for all of the Learn sections as we add them, the maps in. So any feedback is really appreciated, especially from like complete babies to that mode. that's really useful to like know what was most difficult, or like what anything that felt like you were just banging your head against a wall and like didn't know how to progress. We'd really like to hear about that so we can improve that and make it more accessible.
Yeah.
That being said, it's still difficult, like a lot of this stuff, but yeah.
Right. Was there any other input for this question?
Sorta.
Mhm.
Learn section mean music. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Learn
We're gonna
through
need
the music.
Yes. Guitar Hero style. No, yeah, absolutely. Right. You'll want some calming music to be able to like learn. Right. You don't want silence, and you also don't want the most infuriating like music taunting you as you fail to learn. Yeah. So it could mean music for the background of the map. Same with the campaign, right? We're going to have a full soundtrack. We'd love to have some nice background tunes that you can jam out to as you play. Cool. All right. We'll move on. Thank you, Waffle, for this question. Thank you. And we'll move on.
Rhythmations ask, will DX9 still be supported?
I think it's Rhythmations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rhythm is a really
makes
weird word. Not dissing this person, but like just English in general. All right. No. The plan is to go full DX11, mainly because we want to start to support features that DX11 can really like shine, right? For example, like you can pre-cache things on any thread, so map loading can actually be fully asynchronous. Right now, it's kind of asynchronous. It does bits in parallel, but we'd like to like basically strip out as much as we can, including pre-caching, to run on as many threads as we can to just really optimize map loads. So DX9 does not support that, as well as things like geometry and tessellation shaders for some really cool looking like maps.
Guys, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting.
So shader model 5, right? That's the biggest thing out of DX11. So yeah, so no. It will not be supported in the future. Right now, it is as a compatibility layer just to make sure we're hitting the mark in terms of if there's a new performance bug or something like that introduced, like windowing, right? Right now, the window sometimes breaks on Alt Tab, stuff like that, right? So that's kind of it's a good base to compare to. But as we're starting to inch towards 1.0, DX9 will be removed.
I just want to quickly add, in terms of what Sam said, what even is DX9 and DX11? Very briefly,
True.
DX9, DX11 are the sort of interfacing layers that go between your graphics card and Windows like 3D game or engine, whatever.
Like,
so it's the sort of communication layer that says translates stuff in the game into like instruction sets that the GPU is doing stuff with, roughly, right?
To draw models, to draw stuff on the screen.
DX11's been around since about 2008, 2009. Most cards that have come out since then support it. For some people that are on very old cards, they won't be able to run Momentum. That might cut off some people that could run on DX9. It's a smaller and smaller proportion of people every year.
Yeah.
And for developers in 2022, it's really not reasonable to ask any engine dev to continue supporting DX9. It's really, really old, and it's incredibly limiting for developers to have to support like compatibility like that far back. So
correct. Yeah. The other thing I'll note too is we can't even recompile the DX9 shaders without taking either an immense amount of compute or 50 days of compute on our Ryzen R9, like, so there's like a level of like DX9 where it's just so icky and like so like old gen like Valve like rendering code that just we kind of want to just leave it and remove it and just move on to DX11. We could look at DX12. I mean, Slidey's not that. Slidey is our main graphics programmer currently. We could look into
coming on.
We do have Cawu
experience.
True, right? And so we could actually get more towards a native Vulkan renderer, which is actually probably the final direction that we want to take, mainly because of Linux support. We want to fully support Linux there. So DX, and the reason why DX, I'll just clarify, is a Windows specific graphics library, but there's DXVK, which is written by Joshua Ashton, that allows you to kind of like abstract out the calls that you would make to DX to go to Vulkan. So Linux can actually use the exact same DX code that we use on Windows, just inherently. However, it is a translation layer, which kind of sucks because it's not native Vulkan. You can get more performance by just going fully native Vulkan, but that is a huge undertaking. And Slidey, who was currently our graphics programmer, and we do have another one coming on now, wasn't really familiar with Vulkan, so we just chose to do DX11, most comfortable one, and then now we can after we get DX11 in and fully running, eventually down the line we could look towards like a Vulkan kind of layer that we just move towards, just as graphics cards are supporting more and more of like DX11 and Vulkan, because that's the thing, Vulkan has even less support than DX11. Like it's like 2000, I think you need like a card from like 2012 and up or something. I forget the support list, but yeah, the main thing is drivers.
Want to just add very quickly is just because it is something more modern in terms of its support doesn't mean it requires more resources.
Right.
That's, I think, a common misapprehension or misinterpretation of the differences between DX9, DX11. DX11 is in utilizing the GPU instruction set better.
Yes.
So you should never be getting worse performance going from, if you've got a card that supports DX11, you should be getting the same or better performance on something going from DX11 versus DX9. It's not that it's inherently more expensive. In fact, it should be cheaper.
Yes. Yeah, because even Shader Model 5, right? There's more on your graphics card that we can take advantage of now.
Yeah.
So a more modern graphics card just gets better utilized, right? Than DX9 would. So very good point there. Any other comments or tidbits about this? Cool. Thank you, Rhythmations. We'll move on to the next one.
What do we got? Osplo. Will Gocnak get any cool cosmetics just for himself? Yeah, the notch hat.
I don't know. That it'd be cool. But then it would devalue like all the other cosmetics. We'll see. I mean, I'll be happy with just kind of like an admin or team badge on my profile, which we're gonna have badges, right? So I think that's good enough for me. Just shows that I'm me. Yeah, who knows? I mean, the cosmetic store is mainly to be kind of like, so yeah, right, to like we'll have cosmetics, right? That's the overall scope. We'll have cosmetics, and then the cosmetic store is just like a subsection of that where everyone can purchase cosmetics, and then there's another sliver of that where it's like event-based or special cosmetics. So we could do Momentum Team Cosmetics where you have like a little like team like logo hat or something like that. And then I think there was a question about whether or not we're gonna have microtransactions. No, the cosmetics are completely free. You work through the game. You get cosmetic XP by completing maps, beating your PB, etc. And that translates into units, which is our channel points currency. And you use those units to purchase cosmetics. We're not ever going to do loot boxes or anything like that. You work towards the thing that you want. So that's kind of the cosmetic layer there. And then that other lump of cosmetics, the event-based cosmetics, are going to be like tournament winners, like you'll get like badges and maybe a model or something. Seasonal, like event, which is also another question, like kind of the monthly like seasonal things. We can give some time-based like cosmetics there. So there's going to be kind of a slew of cosmetics there, ideally, right? So I don't know, maybe something for the team. I'd like maybe a team cosmetic, and then I'm happy with that. The mapper badge, right? If you have a map in Momentum mod, you can get a little mapper cosmetic or something. So yeah, absolutely. But as for me, I'm more than happy with just like a little team badge or something. I don't really need a flaunt. I won't really be getting world records. I feel like I won't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much I grind. But yeah, so I don't know.
I can get Gocnak his personal charm if he gonna download Payday.
Payday 2, yeah.
I will make a mod that is gonna be only for you, and like I'm not gonna share it to nobody. So
Just my face dangling off my gun. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that good with Blender, but still. Just for that, I will teach it. So
Learn it, yeah. You gotta learn some Blender. Well, yeah, we got a lot of nice Blender folks on the team. So if you ever need any help there, but yeah, so we'll move on. Thank you, Osplo. And I spelled your name right. It turns out Google Slides automatically corrects your name to Oslo. So that's why last time it was Oslo. I typed it right. Google fucked me over. So yeah, take that. Anyway, I ensured it was typed correctly. So there you go. All right, moving on to the next question here.
What are we at? Often ask, will there be commands like PR info, and will the time taken to get PBs be saved, and how often UPB be saved as well? This is 3 questions.
Yes.
We could do the first third. So first off, typing stuff in chat to make stuff happen isn't the best, because you have to learn the thing to type in chat, and it's much better to have like UI that can do that easily. Something like PR info, if you want to see infos about your personal record, I forget, PR is personal record.
Yes,
right?
PR, yeah.
I'm not getting mixed up with. That is pretty similar to end of run, and we'll probably be looking at doing that integrated with end of run a bit better, so you can look at end of run pages for.
Or just the leaderboards panel. Just the leaderboards.
Yeah,
panel,
I mean,
right?
you see a decent amount in the leaderboards. We could definitely make it so you can go back and look at the end of run for that run later on, right? As we hook that up, as we hook up the comparison stuff, it would be nice to be able to actually pass in the local, like the base run and then the comparison run. You could select them both and look at a previous, like look at the splits of like a previous run you did. Right now it's just as you finish a run, we'll display it. Again, having chat commands for stuff isn't the best. Like it's. In some cases, switching stages, I personally do think is quite useful, because it is like /s then some numbers, which can be easier than like hard menus in a way. I like command line stuff. I'm quite used to doing that stuff like that, but it's not very user friendly, and it's something where it's much better to have UI for it that actually works. And yeah, will the time taken to get PBs be saved? I don't know if that means the overall time you spend on a map that we will be tracking in the future.
Right.
As opposed to currently we just track the runs you submit. In the future, we will actually be tracking the time you spend on a map, even if you're not getting a PB.
Right.
The time taken be to get PBs be saved? That just sounds like a PB being saved, right? Because is that what you mean? Like,
no. So what I interpreted from this question, because it was kind of written a little bit poorly. My intuition was the time from when you first boot up the map to the time where you got the date that you got that PB submitted.
Yeah.
So like it took you like a month or something to get that PB. Yeah. But it doesn't equate to like play time, but it's like, oh, like from your first play of the map to when you got this time. It's like, it took you a month, because that's just the difference between the two dates. We could save that.
Yeah, it depends exactly how we're tracking the time spent data. Like, are we doing it like, are we just doing like an accumulative amount of time, and every time you spend some time on the map, we like increase that counter in the database, or are we like actually tracking like each chunk of time you spend on a map and like reconstructing like that whole history? I don't know.
It's a lot of data there, but I mean, honestly, just a date, like a timestamp when you boot up the map and requested the zones or something for the first time, and then when you get a PB submitted, we just look at those two dates. That is possible, and then we are also going to be saving how long you've spent on maps, roughly. It's just as a fun kind of also stat that mappers can look at too, but it's not going to be factored into like your rank or anything. It's just a stat that will be tracked.
And how often you PB be saved as well? Yes.
So we do store every single run that you do. We actually store every single PB, like replay that you do. Right now, we don't delete the old ones. We will eventually be deleting the old ones. But ideally, yeah, we will be saving. I guess I don't know what was meant by how often you PB. So I guess I need a little bit more elaboration on that, like how many times you boot up the map and then PB, because that's going to be a very small percentage for a lot of people. So I don't know how useful that stat's going to be. But like, is it like map plays versus map like runs submitted, or like number of PBs that you like? Because you can keep improving, but you get to a point where like you'll very rarely improve, so that stat will just constantly go down. I don't know how useful that stat would be, but if that could be described better, maybe in the Discord, we can try to see if we can implement that. But yeah, absolutely. The stats collection right now isn't really being focused on because we just need to get the core of the website done first. We got to get on our new backend and then hook up all of our endpoints again and then deploy it. And then from there, we can start to look into collecting stuff like time spent on the map and stuff like that. So yeah, so we'll see. But down the line, we would love to have more kind of niche stats like this where you can look at like, oh yeah, like how long you spent on the map, and then it took you a month to get this PB or something. You could do that. Is there any other input for Ofen's question?
I have an announcement. I'll just a little announcement. It's kind of off topic. I see some Russians on chat. Comrades, it's a Labor Day today. Enjoy your weekends, relax, and whatever, and
Okay.
just relax.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Yeah. Cool. All right. Thank you, Ofen, for this question. We'll move on.
Oh, next one. Sorry. Lumpus. It is the Lumpus one. Yeah. Will there be any weekly/monthly/yearly leaderboards that reset periodically?
Yes. So this was talked about, I think, in a couple of previous Q&As. Keep in mind, I will note, we do have the Q&A question and answer index. All of the questions asked on these streams with the timestamp in the video where they happen is linked in the pins of the Q&A live channel where you ask these. So definitely check out that document. Try to search for any of the kind of keywords that you might be interested in. We might have answered your question before, but we can reiterate for newer faces that come in. Yes, so the idea, right? How do you get people to recursively play Momentum? We do want to have kind of these, I had a whole breakdown of like different systems, but specifically the leaderboards that reset periodically will be the season leaderboards, kind of like how competitive games have seasons as well. Yes, we would love to have, and they'd be more in the monthly range. I don't really see leaderboards lasting longer than a year. So they'd probably be 6-month windows maybe of like just a selection of maps where it's refreshing competition on maps that we either would love to see more competition on, or maybe fan favorites that haven't been played too much because it was optimized to hell and back or something. So it'd be really cool to get that. And the nice part about all the system is like the runs that you submit will also submit globally, right? So it's like if you get a PB or something, right, it saves globally past this semi-yearly leaderboard, and whenever that leaderboard passes or whatever, right, you still have that time, and then we can do cosmetics for these seasons, right? So we're going to be looking into how to set up this kind of like the system here, but we would love to. Just that would be such a good way to just promote regular competition in these kind of time windows here of like 3 to 6 months at a time. We'll pick like a duration and everything later, but yes, we'd love to. Cool. Any other input for Lumpus's question? All right. Thank you, Lumpus. We'll move on.
Eric asks, will there be an official hub for custom HUDs?
Can I take this one?
Sure.
So I'm just gonna like make a long story short. Yes, there's gonna be. We're gonna have Steam workshop, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have Steam workshop. It's honestly really depends on the creator of HUDs.
Yes.
Sorry, right? So they can upload on the Steam. Sorry, on the beeping. He can upload on the Steam workshop. He can use every different sites, right? So yes, we're gonna have that.
Yes.
And I can make one. Gocnak know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Probably.
Right, on Mod Workshop. But the main thing is, this question specifically is an official hub. The one, it would most likely be Steam Workshop, would be the official one. We could have unofficial ones, Game Banana, Mod Workshop, other websites could support. I mean, it's really just like a VPK or just the folder, right? And is it that you would just drop into custom. So, yeah, absolutely.
I do want to say, we might, in terms of custom HUDs and how customization works, we might have more in-game customization, maybe, depending on how much time we have.
Yes.
And in that case, we might end up making it so some of the simpler aspects of the HUD customizing, like, you know, the layout of it, the background colors of different elements, stuff like that, stuff that doesn't involve like JavaScript or fancy shit, might end up being in a single key value file. That's editable in game. We might end up even, you know, doing stuff of like similar things of like exporting it as, you know, compressing it base64 string and like actually, well, we'll see. I feel like a lot of custom HUD stuff is a little bit up in the air because it's kind of just a matter of how much time we spend making it really, really, really cool.
Yes.
Because we can do that, and we'll see. Regardless, it's essentially like Jason.
Right.
Regardless, we will for the more elaborate stuff. Yes, Steam Workshop can absolutely work. Is Happy on fire? Did he just grab a fire extinguisher? What the fuck is going on? Anyway, yeah, I could ramble about HUD stuff all day, and I was talking about that a bit on stream.
Right.
You know, diabolical and stuff, and how potential stuff, but yeah.
Yes, and there also is the problem of how much do we make convars versus like editing the SCSS files.
We're having a meeting about this at some point.
Yeah, we will.
My big sales pitch about.
Yeah. So, and then, but what we can show off is it. Wait, am I going to be able to show it off on the compressed
settings
stream?
codes?
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So what we'll show off too is there's a way to do it to where like there's you can just base 64 a bunch of setting values and then share that. Right.
It doesn't have to be base 64.
Right.
It's like plain strings as well.
Yeah.
Basically, I made it much easier to export convar based settings and share those. The future of custom HUD stuff, like we're not going to make everything a convar, like, you know, the padding around a certain panel obviously isn't going to be a convar.
Right.
My feeling is if we are to do in-game customizable HUD stuff, our current data formats won't work because it doesn't make sense as either a convar or our internal panorama storage thing because it's not human readable. And anyway, we'll see. It might end up being something quite like JSON or something we can essentially export in and out of JSON because we'll have sort of JavaScript representation of different HUD panels and ways of updating their stylings. Interesting. I've got a whole idea mapped out in my head that I'm going to try when I get some time. And then once I've tried it out, I have a decent idea how long it would take to make. It could be actually quite doable in a relatively small amount of time, but we'll see.
Yeah, it is just a matter of kind of prepping, seeing what needs to be customized, what would be ideally customizable, like the more popular settings to change, right? Like colors and stuff are typically going to be more convar-ish, but like when it comes to like padding, like positioning and stuff like that, those are very specific.
The ideal thing would be to like, right now I'm making the HUD comparisons panel, for instance. We'll show it off in a minute. I've had several different people suggest like, oh, I'd like it over here. I'd like it over here. Blah, blah, blah. And it's no one's ever going to be, we can't please everyone. Like, it is something where genuinely, if you played Diabolical, you've seen the HUD editor there. I mean, that's a big inspiration. They let you just move everything around, change a bunch of stuff. That's something where Panorama is powerful enough to do that. It's just about hooking up a lot of JavaScript to do it. So,
yeah. Was there any other input for Eric's question? Cool. Thank you, Erik. Hopefully that helps answer that, but we'll move on to the next.
I assume this is BLoved.
BLoved.
What is the BLoved? Okay. What is the possibility of an official Twitch extension with information for what the streamer is currently doing to help with those watching learn things?
100%. 100% is a possibility. It's going to happen. We would love to have a Twitch bot for starters. That actually needs to be set up. We'd love to have a Twitch bot, a Discord bot, and a Twitch extension is definitely on the table too, for just having like simple info. Whereas the Twitch bot would be probably more like reacting to commands that get more in depth, looking up like PR info and stuff, right, from somebody's chat. That is something that we'd like to look into. But yes, 100%, we'd love to. Right now, again, the back end is being rewritten. We'd love to get the back end up and running, and then looking into integrating with kind of these projects. It would be great to have Twitch and Discord fully represented, and then looking into what else could be done in terms of like, if you link your Twitter account, should we be able to tweet on your behalf that you got a world record or something, right? So stuff like that. Yeah, link to your Skype, automatically call your grandma. Like, we can set it up.
Mom, I got a PB.
Mom, get the camera. Yeah, so absolutely. Just having basic info, things like map, maybe their PR, in a very easily viewable panel, maybe in the bio or on the video player, which I don't really like those. Those are really obtrusive. But things like that, absolutely. We'd love to. That is the extension of like the API that we'd love to support, is like bringing information to people's communities. I know previous answers, and I think there was actually a prefix to this question about like not having an official API. We just don't want to like have information all over the place, right? Like, we'd like to have official support, like official extensions, official bots, first and foremost, and then looking at like what could people want an API for, and then maybe granting it based on that. So yeah, absolutely. So keep an eye on our Discord. We should be able to set up those repositories after our website port is done, and then we'll love any help that we can get with those.
Sure.
So yeah, keep an eye on our Discord for those.
Discord bot we're going to start doing probably straight after
Yes.
the rewrite's done. We'll get the repo set up for that, because we're going to be doing that not in C# this time. So
Yep, splitting the bot into two. We're gonna have like a janitor bot that's going to be more of our like one that announces streams and like, you know,
that's
is
our current
taking
one,
our current one. And then there's going to be the public invitable one that's like, oh, this is like PR info, right? You know, right? Like, so slash commands and all of that goodness for that. And then you can invite it to your own Discord servers to have our API at your whim. So
and one final thing, these projects are really nice for like contributors in that like a lot of our current code base is quite like hard to get into.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do like website front end, you do need to learn Angular, you know, which is quite a head fuck at first.
It's not so bad. No, yeah,
okay,
it's pretty rough.
It's intimidating for, you know, like newer programmers.
Yeah.
And stuff like the Discord bot, Twitch extension, stuff like that, where we can get it started, but then take contribution from other people, should be a really nice way to contribute and do some like easier, more approachable stuff. At the same time, you'll still get code reviews from us. So like, as a way of actually learning, that's still really productive, because like, you know, some of us, I'm not, but some of us are actually quite good programmers and will give you really helpful review.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. And contribution equals a key. So I want to get back into that. I love open source. It sucks that the game is closed source, but that's just the agreement with Valve, right? But we do, you know, our website's open source. We'd love to have the Discord bots, both of them be fully open source. The Twitch extension be open source. The, you know, the Twitch bot be open source. All of that, like, we'd love to have people's contribution, as well as like letting you guys see how we do things and help out. Any other input for BLoveds? Question. Cool. Thank you for that. We'll move on to the next.
Rhythmations asks, will there be a way to submit map suggestions? Should I get it right that time?
No. Rhythmations.
You sure?
Yeah. Unless he's trolling us. Rhythmations.
Rhythmations. Okay.
Yeah. The all caps font here does not help that.
Yeah. Okay. Will there be a way to submit map suggestions?
Yes. So after 010, we are going to start to look into what people like to play the most. We do want to start with fan favorites. That's honestly going to be the best way to kind of get everybody over to the game. If you think about it, like having everyone's favorite maps. But we do, I mean, like it is a case of like, effort right behind it. So like we do need people to port it, we need people to clean up the maps, remove entities right that aren't needed anymore. So there's a whole process behind it, but absolutely right, like we could have people voting on maps. We could have like a batch of maps that we're like, okay, we're going to look at these maps, vote on which ones we should look at first, and like just kind of priority queue it that way. But yeah, so just stay tuned. O10 and onwards is gonna be a lot of maps, a lot of map effort to port maps, zone maps, get them basically prepped for 1.0. And then the idea is with these map suggestions and kind of these popularity polls, we could figure out pretty easily what maps we want to have for 1.0. Because again, we don't want to have every map ever for 1.0. We want to have a nice curated list with regular map drops basically every week, dropping another 10 to 15 maps every week so that people have constant content to play and not be overwhelmed at first with 1.0. So yeah, so just stay tuned. We'll have more info about map suggestions and like submissions there. And then yeah, being able to help out zoning maps gets you a key, right? You got to have the game to zone a map. So stay tuned for that if you're not getting any of the keys dropped in chat, or not getting lucky from Steam RNG gods. Stay tuned. Any other input for Rhythmations or Rhythmations?
Once we get to O10, we'll be talking about porting all day long. Like,
yes.
It will be very active, and there'll be a ton of support from team people.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff.
Okay. We'll move on. Thank you, Rhythmations, for your question.
Stripe asks, will there be a Momentum Mod podcast?
I thought it was Shrimpy.
Podcasts in the world. Yeah.
Is this not it? I thought you guys were watching. Is this not it? Like
streams now.
Yeah.
We should stream more. A lot of the time I stream at like weird hours when I'm working on stuff. But I really enjoy streaming when we've got a bunch of us in voice because
yes.
it's just we like hanging out in voice, and hopefully we're somewhat entertaining people. But I mean, there's enough podcasts in the world, right? So.
Yeah.
And also, but streaming's nice because we're actually like we'll stream some dev work and we'll chat about stuff and answer some questions. That's always really fun. So that's sort of our version of a podcast, let's say.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just suggest. How do I say it? Suggesting that because when I saw that question, I immediately thought about like, all right, maybe we can take some interviews from some top gods players.
Oh, I see.
Gamemodes, stuff like that. That can work, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
I mean that's but we don't want to dilute it. I think the highlight videos are kind of those like showcases of mappers of really god tier players. Those should be their own dedicated videos on YouTube. That's actually what a previous question asked about, what the like Momentum YouTube and like world record run uploading and stuff. So like our official YouTube channel, we want to highlight the community. So yeah, either podcasts interviewing some people or straight up just highlight videos, sort of podcast style, where we're just like interviewing and like hanging out and like just showing a bunch of visuals around like how people approach their mapping and like their design and stuff. And I think or like how they approach the grind for getting sick fucking runs, so that kind of stuff. I think it'd be great. Those could be kind of podcasty, but I don't think we'd ever be on like Spotify or like I don't think we're gonna go officially like podcasts. But
it feels organic. And
yes,
that stuff never does.
Yeah.
But also, and if there's any other community stuff where other people are doing similar stuff, we're happy like sharing that if it's good at least.
Yeah.
Like Gox was interviewed a bit by H2 a while ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was interesting, similar thing. So yeah.
So yeah. Was there any other input for this question? Cool. All right, we'll move on to the next.
CC asks, what feature is everyone personally most excited for? This is a good question.
This is
Even
a
ones
fantastic
past
question.
1.0. You know, Goc?
All right, I'll go first. Sorry, had some water. I am most excited for the game just existing. Like, basically, the core features, the reason why, I'm making this, or I started to make this game, right? A map selector that has every single map you could ever possibly want to play, right? Ranks, leaderboards for all of them. A global leaderboard, offline gameplay. You don't have to connect to a multiplayer server and deal with other people or ping. Optional multiplayer, so if I ever want to play with a friend or a team, or you can do that. I am looking forward to that core speedrunning experience, because like it doesn't really exist. Like there's bits and pieces of it in servers or like different communities, or it's like it's all over the place with like different CS:GO servers or something, right? So like having it all centralized in one spot with just like everything there that you could possibly need, right? You don't I mean, there's the quote unquote uninstalling the other games, though don't do that. You need to mount the assets for some of the maps, so keep them around. But like mentally uninstalling like TF2, or like I'm sure a lot of other team members could probably agree with that. Like that mental burden of like you only have one platform that you need for all of it now. If you genuinely only care about this, there is people that still do TF2 like scrims and stuff, but like so. That is what I'm most excited for. Just the game existing and just all of the pieces working together. There's not a singular feature that I'm most excited for, other than AHUD. No, other than oh man. I mean, I'm kind of excited to see what clans will turn into, because like the social layer that the game can have, like, can really go like huge. Like
right. It's
all
really
asynchronous.
How multiplayer is going to work, like, because it's something multiplayers, communities and stuff, exist. You can't really pre-plan that stuff. We can just try and have the best support for multiplayer stuff we can, but it's very hard to anticipate exactly how that's going to actually go, because it's like a human thing. It's like
So I guess that could be the feature I'm interested in seeing how it'll go, but I'm really just most excited for the game just existing and being playable for everyone. Because not only is it a thing that I worked on that's coming out and I get to see people liking it or hating it, it is something that I personally have been looking forward to playing. That's why I'm working on it. I really want to play a game like this, and it doesn't exist. So, that's me. Who wants to go next?
Oof. I guess I'll do that.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I wanna see, how music gonna work in the campaign.
Oh yeah.
Because we have some ideas. I guess I can share them, but can't share them. But from I understood, it's looking really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the reason why I'll try to make high quality music in there.
Oh yeah.
And the second feature, now here, Gocnak or Tom, you can stop me if I'm gonna like spoil something, because I honestly don't know. But when it came to the like localization, how we're gonna do it?
Oh yeah, no, you can talk about it. That's fine.
I suggest
localization.
The game's gonna be in other languages. No. Our secret sauce.
So I suggested a momentum authenticity like glossary, and it's like that big page or book that's gonna contain every, if not most, terminology you have to know, so you can have full experience of the game. And that's kind of like really neat idea, I think. Plus that's gonna help translating stuff, so kind of practical too. So
yeah. And what's really cool about the glossary is that, like, because people are gonna be booting up the game and be like, what the fuck is a C tab? And like the learn section could kind of describe it, but it'd be great to have just like a dedicated like UI that's like, oh hey, here's the CTAP, this is like the term, this is what, where it came from, like here's an example of what it looks like just having like this, like, you know glossary, right? Like of all of these terms, and like translated to your language so you can better understand it, even if the term itself is like, there's probably not going to be a translation for Bhop easily in other languages, so it might just be Bhop, but then you can go to this glossary and get like a Russian definition of it, right? So you can understand, oh, this is bunny hop, right? A term from Counter-Strike or like from Quake, like, like, so like it'll be really nice to have just like a dedicated like page to not just learn how to do things, but also what things are as well. And then we could even in descriptions and stuff have it be like hoverable or clickable, and you can go to that like glossary page for it or something.
That's the thing. Some of it we have kind of in the doc site currently, and I've been working on it there. I've always felt like it would be good to actually bring some of that into the game, partly because it's really quite easy to do that now with Panorama, like bringing text over. We even have scripts for doing stuff like that, quite in quite an organized way. But also because if we do bring it over, then it's a reason to localize it, because we want strings like that to be localized. So I think that's just on the topic of localization, like that's a really big logistical task. But I think if we can do it really well, for us as a community driven game, for us to really nail localization and actually do really good localization in a bunch of languages, where that's a really big job. But if we can pull it off, I think, I don't know, I think localization is really important just for the accessibility of the game. And if we can do that really well, I think that'll be great. And hopefully that reflects really well on us, because it's something we care about a lot.
We have, like you said, it's a globalized game. We have people from every region, right, playing the game. We can't just assume, oh, servers hosted in America, just English, right? So yeah, absolutely, it's important.
I just want to say I'm excited for in that regard is I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of people that step up. They're just fantastic at localizing. I'm really interested to see who is really good at it, because I'm sure it'll be like quite a mixed bag. And some people say, oh, I want to do everything in Welsh, and then never does anything. I don't know,
right?
But I'm sure, I just imagine that we're going to get some amazing people, like in terms for that will be great to work with. That I think will be a real pleasure.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go. I'll do a really specific one. I'm really, really excited about the map grid size being increased.
Oh, that's a good
one. The hammer grid is too small.
Now that's a spoiler.
No,
happy with that. No, I mean,
it's in the works, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that was in the general momentum channel, and I hadn't even said it. Yeah, okay, you're fine.
So basically, when we got Engine, it was one of the first things I thought this would be really, really cool to do if we could actually increase the overall limits. Source is like a rickety old beast, and there's a lot of stuff like clearly depends on other things. So I can only imagine it was a fuckload of work. This is mostly S-Cells work. To get it all working and like hanging together and like increasing those limits without stuff just breaking. But as something that will enable just a lot more freedom for mappers, I think it's huge. And it's just really nice and really exciting. Like A-Hop is really fast. It is quite hard to fit like all the stuff you want in a single A-Hop map. And Bellis, who has made, probably the most impressive like mapping contribution to A-Hop at least, and one of the most of all of Momentum, is doing the coast port, which was hundreds of hours of work. He's expressed interest in like now improving a bunch of stuff because we'll have the increased limits. So it's a very specific thing, but I think for anyone that's done a decent amount of mapping and is familiar with like the limits of the source engine, increasing this is really enormous. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah,
and it's just a really impressive technical achievement.
And I will note that when we do, it is our specific BSP version. It won't work for CSS or CSGO. It's going to be specifically Chaos, which is, I mean, like we technically like can't support the old engine. And it's not because we, like we're dicks or something about it. It is just the technical like size of it.
Source engine, like those limits are pretty tough to get around, right?
Yeah, I mean, you run into rendering issues because, for example, the view model, it's rendered from the origin for some reason, as opposed to just like locally on your screen. Yeah, there's like some weird jank shit like that could probably be improved to help with like, because model rendering, it's pretty bad. Floating point errors and whatnot, right? When you start going over like, was it 3 million units or something? Yeah.
There's some funny
Three
stuff.
Clicks Phillips has a video about that. So
Yeah, and I'm just so impressed by the work, especially SL, but I guess Slidey as well, and other
Yes.
engine devs that have done this really major like internal work to get that much attention. Like it's not a big pretty bit of UI or whatever, but in terms of like the actual like expertise and time required to do something like that, it seems extraordinary. So
Yeah.
I want to shout out those. I need to run for 5 minutes, so if someone
Okay.
could read the next question, that'd be good. But, so apologies for that. I'll be back very
Sure, I can
shortly.
do that.
All right, False has got it. And then False, what is your most
My most excited.
excited
Yeah,
for
I
the
was gonna
future?
say clans as well, because I think
Yeah.
there's a lot that you can do in terms of community.
Right.
Just I really like the idea of having a clan and like building that up and I don't know, putting
Clan
competitions or
wars.
something.
Yeah.
Clan wars. Yeah,
Clan
there's a
tournaments.
lot of like just community type of interactions that come out from that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, improved hammer is gonna be so nice as well as a mapper. That it's gonna open up a lot more and just make making
What do you
maps.
want me and Gonk? Yeah.
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 Let's go.
Other than that, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the great things are about momentum mod already there, which is just the accessibility.
Yeah.
And no ping, which is as a jumper that is absolutely massive. So I mean, I've already moved over, right? So
Yeah.
just playing the game is so much more pleasant, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right.
That's good. All right. If there's no other input for this question, we'll move on to the next one. Thank you, CC, for the excellent question there.
Frank then asks, explosions working through portals when?
093. All of the like gameplay related bugs have moved to 093. 091 is implementing the new UI. 092 is fixing a lot of UI specific bugs with the new implementation, as well as like kind of polishing some more. We got a please play Kong train. Let's go. And then 093 is fixing gameplay related to portals, as well as like any miscellaneous stuff there. So yeah, that's kind of the version plan. So around 093. As well as other portal fixes. We've been doing a lot of portal rendering fixes. Slidey in particular has been looking into like when you stand close to a portal, having it like not be clipped and then, you know, draw nothing, that kind of stuff. So hopefully portals are now more and more smooth as you approach them, go through them, and so on. But yeah, because we're kind of abusing portal. Like Valve used world portals once in Portal 2, but they like were like abusing them. Like we allow more than like 4 at a time. Like, you know, like there's so much that we're doing with world portals. So all these bugs and stuff that we're finding with this, as well as an explosion not tracing through the portal as if it were exploded, kind of like right next to you. That kind of stuff will be fixed. So it's just a matter of time. But 093-ish is when we're planning.
There you go. Is anyone brave enough to use the 10K, the real one?
Make me actually play Conk when we're...
Have we played Conk every single time?
Yeah, we have. Oh, except that one time we played Defrag and then I had to go. But all right. Thank you, Crank, for that question. We'll move on to the next.
Yeah. All right. So then CC asks, will the dev Q&A streams continue after 1.0? Or will they become less frequent? Or is it too early to tell?
I'll take this one. I would like for it to, yes. Less frequent, I don't see why, unless the team gets extremely busy with stuff. To where it's like 1 or 2 people in the stream for the end of the month. But I don't think it's too early to tell. I would love to continue it. It'd be great to have this just be a community outlet, right? You guys ask in Discord, attend these streams, we hang out and play with you guys. It's a great kind of outreach for us to do just monthly, right? Just kind of grouping up, showing that we're a team and not just, you know, icons on Discord or something. So Yeah, I would love to continue them, and then just continuing. Oh my God! Look, please play Conk Train. All right, I guess we'll play a little bit of Conk later. But yeah, so I mean, this is in coordination with the other content that we want to start doing after 1.0 with the showcases, the interviews. Yep. So there's still that avenue too, where so maybe the Q&A won't get more frequent or anything, but we'll do. We will still have other media that you can consume, and then we do want to stream, right? If we're working on stuff, campaign maps or anything like that. Obviously, we're not going to be spoiling the story on our streams, but like if people are designing or doing a bunch of mapping, like the Christmas stream that we were doing with a bunch of asset generation, I'd love to do that again. Like that stuff like that, where we're just doing like team kind of hangouts, doing different things for the game, showing off like just what we're working on. That'd be really cool. So I'd love to continue not just dev Q&A streams, but regular streams. Maybe even get Twitch partner on this account too. That'd be cool. But otherwise, yeah, it should continue for the foreseeable future. Just depending on team availability. I mean, after 2.0, that question can kind of be real, where it's like, you know, like if there's not much we're working on, or, you know, not too many questions that get asked, we might stop doing them. We might still stream a bit, just playing the game or something, doing runs of the campaign. I know I'll be doing that, probably on my own channel, but yeah. So is there any input for CC's question?
No.
Cool. Thank you, CC. We'll move on to the next.
Cawu asked, what is each dev's time currently being dedicated to?
Excellent question. I will take this one. Tom isn't technically like a dev like on the engine team, but Tom has been doing excellent panorama work that you've been seeing on streams as well as off streams. So excellent panorama JavaScript work. Tom, they aren't licensed, so they don't have the C++ access yet. But eventually that might change, which means...
I get to work on any bit of code here, so I do web stuff as well.
Yes. So Tom's kind of a jack of all trades right now, doing a bunch of different stuff. Going down the line, Bray is actually in the middle of moving. So right now, Bray has been doing more smaller kind of work that they can figure out. Sorry, I just got interrupted. One moment.
Yeah, Bray's in the process of moving. She's been doing bits of review and stuff. I think we're always doing a review is a dev thing. I mean, I do review on Green server, which is the non-NDA stuff, and I try and review everything on there. Also, I do some web review stuff now as well, because me and Alex are going back and forth on that. So Bray, I think, has done some review lately. And then,
so moving down the list, BLT. BLT's been doing a lot of panorama kind of fix-ups, like with input, specifically with the console. A lot of selection. The reason you can now select multiple lines in the console and, you know, be able to use the console for like actually like copy pasting like different things from it. Yes, as well as performance improvements to it. So a lot of great kind of under the hood panorama work there, as well as those console fixes there. They also are going to be working on fixing the input problem, where if you open the console and hit enter, it presses enter on the things below it. So that kind of stuff should also be fixed as well. Just kind of working on, again, these are just some of the things. They might also be working on various other things too, but this is just things that I'm seeing from our like assigned cards and stuff. Moving down the list, wait, hold on, crap, let me go to get the full list here. Okay, so Lumia is currently also busy with in real life stuff, but Lumia is our kind of dedicated defrag, brought on to do defrag stuff right now. but they are busy with real life. But they are going to be working on defrag entities as well as weapons, which False has just finished the plasma gun for. So that will be coming very soon too, probably 092, 093, whenever Lumia gets the capacity to do that. Moving down the list here, Rio has been working on implementing a bunch of movement fixes, specifically the slide trigger. The slide trigger has been converted over to a solid entity, so now you place a Funk slide, just like a Funk wall or any Funk illusionary or anything, right? It's a solid entity that you now place, and now we can supply like ice textures or anything to make it look like a slidable surface, and a lot of movement related refactoring. So we are basically 1-to-1 now with TF2 CSS, what was it, Fortress Forever's code, and then there was one more. Oh wait, yeah, there's parkour that we gotta figure out, and then defrag is in its own file. So there was a lot of abstraction that needed to be worked on there. But yeah, Rio has been doing some more movement fixes. In particular, pixel walks and surfs have been fixed. More wall bugs as well, texture bugs have been found and fixed. So a lot of great movement stuff with assistance from Ildprut actually on that. So really looking forward to getting those in as well. And then SL has been doing a lot of great engine work. There's, I think, a lot of the BSP limit expansion has been what they've been up to, but honestly I would have to go and look at like all of the like work in progress branches, because there's a ton that SL's been up to. Slidey has been up to DX11 maintenance mainly, so all of the fixes there. Somebody echoing right now? Oh, wait, sorry, I was hearing myself a little bit. All right, anyway, Slidey has been doing excellent DX11 work with fixing, windowing, alt-tabbing, basically all of the issues that you're having launching alt-tabbing and like playing the game in DX11. Slidey's been on top of, as well as miscellaneous fixes like portal rendering, various shader fixes, so things that were noticed wrong with shaders, we're able to go in and fix pretty easily, or Slidey's been doing that. Excellent work there. And then Zen came back from mandatory military service, back in action, fixing a ton of really miscellaneous small stuff. So a bunch of bugs that you guys are reporting, Zen's basically jumped right into it. There's actually a work in progress branch I wanted to get merged in for this stream, but it needs one more review. So that's currently in progress. But yeah, excellent work being done all around. JJ has also joined the team, and Aaron is part of the team as well. JJ's been working on chaos tooling, specifically getting oh shit, I can't spoil that. Specifically chaos tooling, specifically with Qt. It's a GUI framework. So we're getting a lot of great work done with like getting the tooling hooked up to Qt, which is just a multi-platform tooling, as well as maybe hooking up more and more Hammer to it, making Hammer more and more modern and cross-platform, maybe leading to making maps on Linux. Cough cough. So that's not the thing I can't spoil, but anyway, I'll just stop mentioning that. I'm really looking forward to announcing the thing that I can't spoil. So yeah, great stuff there. And Aaron's been doing a lot of panorama bug fixes as well, mainly for P2C, but also for momentum in some cases there. So the error texture replacement was something that Aaron had implemented there. So I believe that's all of the momentum devs. Nerdman, I guess going back to the main team, Nerdman has been doing excellent work in the website backend, specifically with helming the rewrite into Nest.js, which is TypeScript. So still using the same kind of like base code there, but basically making it much cleaner, much easier to work with, Angular based, right? So it's like, yeah, you got modules and stuff like that, but just really nice. A typed backend is something that if I could go back in time, that's what I would have started with the website backend, because JavaScript is great, but no types for JavaScript is terrible when you have to deal with like, oh shit, what is in this object? Like, what did the database just give me? Like that kind of stuff is just, it's terrible to deal with. Because you can type anything and it's just a property and it could be null. Anyway, so yeah, TypeScript kind of ensures that you're, it compiles the JavaScript, but it's it's typed, so
less
it's
shit.
much easier to use. There's other devs on the team that have been pretty much on hiatus. So if there's anyone I'm missing, that would probably be why. They're just kind of, they've been busy and haven't been updating us. Cough, cough. Not good to not update us. We got to stay on the same page. So yeah, that's. Oh yes, so Cowboyana, the most recent dev, is being brought on to work on the engine. They've actually contributed before in the open source repo, back when the game was fully open source. So yeah, they're being brought on to work on graphics related stuff as well. Maybe some miscellaneous bug at first to get kind of used to the engine, but yeah, Cowboyana as well is the newer dev there. So yeah, okay, I think that was everybody. I hope I didn't miss too many people. But hopefully that helps explain it. Again, so looking at the 091 board, right? When you see a bunch of issues being brought in, we have devs doing various things, right? When it comes to like the panorama board or the panorama cards on the board, that typically takes one dev, right? Because you can't really parallelize waiting for the, implementation that Tom's doing, right? Like, things like that where it's like, it's usually one dev to working on the green code and the red server, like C++ code. So, like, there's a lot of opportunity to just get in a ton of miscellaneous and like extra things that people have been working on, right? And so as we like approach 092, we're going to have less cards in that board because we've had more dev work just working on things that should have been, that are scheduled for 092 and 093, but they get done and in before 092 and 093. So that's just kind of how the scheduling for the cards work there. So hopefully, people aren't thinking, oh, this is taking forever because they got to fix this random movement bug. No, it's like Rio's been doing movement stuff and fixed this and we got it in and now it's like in the game earlier. So yeah, and they're not going to just sit around and wait for that version to get it's good to get the stuff in when we get it. So yeah, sorry, that kind of turned into a mini rant at the end there. But anyway, hopefully that helps explain what each dev, this was specifically dev. There is the question at the beginning of the slide, which is what every team member has been up to, which that would probably take over an hour for me to get into. So we won't do that, but hopefully that helps explain kind of the areas of focus that everybody has been doing. I guess for me, I've been working on end of run, right? I do a lot more administrative stuff nowadays, but I am going to be getting more into kind of the zone tooling and refactor for the format, working with, I think, Rio and Slidey on those, as well as the replay refactor. So kind of the more bigger picture things is what I tend to take on, but I also can help swarm the smaller cards. So
092 leaderboard stuff, I think you were going to do something.
Yes, 092 leaderboards, map selector, being able to scroll, that kind of stuff will be kind of my ticket there. And then there's a lot of chaos stuff coming up, like CMake. We're porting over to a new kind of like project organization thing for the code using CMake, which then allows us to use ClangCL to compile the game binaries, which allows us to use only Linux builders for our CI. Oh my god, I can go on for hours about this stuff, but it's all stuff that you guys will never see because it's just like our dev processes and like norms for a repo. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that's like great resume filler. No, I'm just kidding. It's like great interview topics, but it's not really flashy and exciting to talk about in the Q&A. So I won't bore you too much with that, but really exciting internal stuff is happening too, and I'm going to be helping helm some of that. What's Zova been up to? That's a good question. He is AFK right now. But he's been getting back into the art side of things. Been doing a lot of mock-up. Yeah, modeling. So, yeah.
Yeah, we might have a Zova modeling quite soon, actually. That'd be really nice.
Ooh. Nice. All right. Hopefully that answers that, Cawu. Was there any other input for this question? I kind of hopefully got everything.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very hard to summarize everything. Right?
Yeah. All right.
Right. Starly asks, will there be a sort of custom flag for user-created styles so that players can compete against one another?
This is kind of 2.0. Maybe.
Yeah.
So this is kind of 2.0. This is what 2.0 is like aiming to kind of support, like workshop modes, right? Where you create a mix of settings and like publish it to workshop, and then like we just integrate with site or something like that. Maybe. But for the most part, the off style or like, you know, off official, unofficial flags and stuff, we will have a pretty comprehensive list of things that we want to support, and then it's up to the mapper to tick which like they want supported on the map, because there's some maps that that doesn't make sense to support, and then there's like combinations of things that you can't support too. So we'll see, but I would say probably towards 2.0, where we have that custom game settings and like different like custom like settings that you can apply and then like share to be able to like kind of compete. Hopefully that answers that, Starly. Is there any other info for this? Cool. All right, thank you for that question. We'll move on.
Jonas asks, can people playing different modes, quote unquote, play alongside each other on the same map while in the same lobby?
Yes.
Basically, there's the way our multiplayer works is we don't care what mode the other player is in. All the anti-cheat, all that stuff is done between the client and then the replayer submitting to the server, and there's no central server that's doing it. Just we don't care. Like as long as there's another player in the lobby that's moving, and if they're firing entities and stuff, we'll network that, like conks and rockets or whatever. But the mode itself just isn't like relevant to any of the data sent over there, right? So, which is really nice. I mean, people can be playing Defrag and then someone just starts like hopping around,
hopping around, or you see some rockets start flying by. Well, I mean, Defrag's in the support anyway. Sorry,
Defrag.
Sticky bomb.
Defrag, from what I understand, like VQ3 and CPM have to be played on separate servers, right? You can't have one person in VQ3 and the other person in CPM, which sounds really annoying because you can have maps for playing both.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of like actually really practical things as opposed to just people dicking around, you know, sticky jumping on a hot map.
Yeah. So that is another momentum mod benefit is, yes, the multiplayer supports your different modes on the same map. As long as you're on the same map, it networks. And that's ideally going to be the case all the time. You just need to be on the same map.
Workshop map support? No. Or not really? We've answered
we have answered that before. Workshop map support is not going to be a thing. We'd rather do the map selector. So, but yeah. All right, moving on. Thank you, Jonas.
Lumpus asks, will Momentum mod also serve to be a more accessible entry point for map creation, e.g. making beginner-friendly tutorials on how to make a good surf map?
Yes. I would love to. I would love to have a lot more tutorials that are game modes. In fact, we even have the written up one on docs about how to make a good surf ramp, right? How to make surf ramps. So absolutely. Now, integrating it into Hammer might be a little difficult, but we would love to have things like pre-made assets, right? So if you need a curved ramp that's like usually found in most maps, we can help you with just getting like a bunch of models or you know, pre-made brushes. If we have like a scriptable layer, like the Angel script layer that we have in Hammer, we could provide a bunch of like pre-made like what was it? Blocks, right? Like you just have like something that you click and you can like create. We would love to take inspiration from Source 2 Hammer if possible. Implement some of the spline tooling so that you can make a really easy curve. You know, like those toolings are really nice, even if Source 2's mapping workflow isn't the greatest right now. So like that kind of stuff supported in Source 1 would be amazing, right? So so there's the Hammer integration side, and then there's like the videos and like docs, like articles and stuff, right? It would be great to have that all centralized in one spot so that it's not like, oh yeah, go watch this random YouTuber's playlist that might be disappearing in like a year or two, right? Like when they delete their account or something. So having it all official, like under Momentum mods, like website and stuff like that, but like maybe written and contributed by various mappers in the community. I think that'd be very valuable. Yeah, that could also go on our YouTube, right? Like that's valid
Yeah.
content for our YouTube. So yeah, I'd love to.
Also, it's really easy to contribute to our docs.
Yeah,
Jack,
Markdown.
Really
Yeah.
easy. It's not
Yeah, so written guides are pretty straightforward. It's just learning Markdown, which isn't too bad. You can actually use
Jekyll
GitHub's.
is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, getting it running is a bit
Yeah.
a bit shit. But
So
Yeah.
no tutorial for that.
no, there is one. There's how to make a page.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was like the first one. You gotta recurse it. Yeah.
Got to install CMake or whatever.
Oh
GCC.
no, it's Ruby and Jekyll.
No, Ruby, but it also needs like GCC. It's actually
Oh.
really.
Yeah, because it has to compile. That's right. Anyway, yeah. It'd be great to move to Hugo for that. I've been evaluating better static site generators
Yeah.
for that.
There's too many, and they're all too big. Jekyll's, Anyway.
Hugo's not too bad. Hugo's like one binary.
Yeah.
You don't have to install Ruby or anything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So hopefully that answers that, Lumpus. Yes, we'd love to have ease of access into mapping, ease of access into playing the game and learning about it. And yeah, that like goes hand in hand, right? So for sure. Any other input for this question?
Just to sum up, a lot of payday mapping related stuff hosted on like GitHub wiki or whatever it's called. So yeah, it's accessibility is always cool. So
Yes. Yeah, there's no reason to gatekeep map making. Other than, I mean, gatekeeping maps added to our selector, yes. Like, we'll make sure we're not adding Babby's first Serpent as a map. But, like, we're definitely going to make sure that you can make a cohesive map and then submit it and get that on. Like, that, we want to encourage that. Mappers are the backbone of the game, right? Like, we want to support making maps making it easier to make maps, getting into mapping be easier, right? Have a supportive community. Any questions, you can use Momentum's Discord to answer any mapping questions, right, that you may have. But ideally, it's game mode focused a bit. We're not aiming to be a general source Discord. There are general source Discords that help out too with that. I think there's even a source engine Discord that you could join to like ask mapping questions too. But yeah, we would love to make it just like, here's how to just do a proper like surf map. Like here's the things that you could look into. A bunch of resources in a row, neatly organized. So yeah, cool. Thank you for this question, Lumpus. We'll move on.
I'm on Jaunty's one now, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Jaunty asks, even though you can't pay for keys, in the future, could people donate money and have their own cosmetic ideas submitted to the game? You can
You don't need to.
cosmetic ideas, but you don't need to give us money.
Yeah, the entire donation side of things is you should be donating because you like the idea of the game and you want to support us. You want to support the Momentum team. That is the entire premise of taking donations. So for cosmetics, that was something else that we were looking into using Workshop for. Before 1.0, kind of having maybe a workshop for like cosmetic ideas.
1.0, I thought.
Oh yeah, maybe.
You can do submissions there, and we're going to be adding cosmetics more and more in the future, right?
Yeah. So you could just submit it, and then like it could get voted on. Now keep in mind, we would love to have like quality cosmetics in the game. So we won't, like, we will be filtering what gets added, but absolutely, you can submit it there, and we won't we won't prioritize people that have donated or anything, and that's the nice thing about setting the distinction of donations to just be supporting the team is you like what we're doing and what we believe in and everything, like you like that and you want to support us financially there. It allows False to get Blender plugins and allows Bray to get a new desk and so on, right? We're gonna get Vortex a new computer, so there's stuff like that we can spend this money on and support just making more quality things for the game. And then, yeah, like the cosmetic side of things is just as people vote on and want things in the game, then we can do that too. It just sucks. Workshop is really limited. I've gone on this rant multiple times. I'll just say that again. It's just Workshop's kind of limited. You can only do free for all or vote mode, not both, and kind of sucks. But
yeah.
yeah.
I just want to add with the cosmetic system is the like landscape of how a lot of games monetize themselves at the moment is so bleak.
Yeah.
That for us, for cosmetics, we don't want like financial stuff like in the same like sentence as
cosmetics. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not. That's just not our intention. We want to do it because we do genuinely like the in-game cosmetics, and they are a genuinely good way to like gain something from your progress. That's more than just going up some numerical level in the same way that everyone else is. You can actually, it allows some user customization. It's fun. It's just the financial, sort of situation with a lot of games that have cosmetic system is just absolutely dire. So we want to stray as far from that as possible.
Yeah. And then there was something brought up in chat. People that might not be able to financially support but still want to support, spread the word of the game. Let people know. If you have anybody that's surfed or bunny hop, or like that would be interested in the game, show them it. Getting word of mouth, because that leads to potentially people that it's a cascading effect. People tell other people, you get more hype for the game, but you also find more people that could help out, make the game faster, make the website better, make the bots, stuff like that. So spreading word of the game is the best thing you can do. Just don't be obnoxious about it. Like if people are streaming on like CS:GO or something, don't be like movement much better or something. Don't be like that.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that. But instead, like just kind of suggesting if there's streamers that haven't heard of it, check it out. Be ambassadors for the game, right? But yeah, was there any other input for Jaunty's question?
Speaking of spreading the word, like a little funny story. So my boss on the job, he was like asking like for what game I'm making music. When I explained to him what momentum is, he's like, "Oh, so it's a Mario," and I'm like, "Well, yeah."
Yeah.
I mean, it's both platformers, right? So
yeah, it's basically Mario. Yeah. Don't sue us, Nintendo, please. Oh God, no. Nintendo lawyers are on their way. Anyway, thank you, Jaunty, for this question. We'll move on.
FadedFrank asks, will there be dedicated lobbies that stay up without a player hosting it? What are the plans for voice chat? First off, those are the answers to those two questions. We have answered exactly those questions before, so we can skim over it. But if you want a good answer, just look at the previous ones.
I was actually going to use this question as another reminder that the Q&A questions are in the Q&A index document. I update them every time we upload to YouTube. So please check that out.
Quite a lot of work doing that as well.
Yes. It will, yeah, it's timestamp gathering. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yes, there will be dedicated lobbies that stay up without a player hosting it, akin to hosting SRC DS, so you can throw it on a Linux box somewhere and connect to it, make a better connection maybe with individuals in between you without using Steam. And then, yes, we will have voice chat. It's going to probably be opt-in, but yes, we will have it. Where like in a friends only lobby it'll be enabled for everyone, but a public one it's not, something like that, where we have some systems in place to where you're not joining a map and then immediately hearing every slur known to man. So yes to both, and then check out those videos that Tom linked in the chat or the Q&A index, which is in our Q&A live channel in our pins, for the timestamps for these particular questions. We have answered them before. So thank you, FadedFrank, for this question. We'll move on.
Rixlarin asks, what are each team member's favorite / main game modes?
Oh boy.
Can I?
Oh yeah.
All right, Happy, you go first. You take it.
So a long time ago, I did play as a roamer on 6-on-6 in TF2. So rocket jumping is like my favorite. Even though I didn't play it for like a long time, I'm really rusty on it, but I still love it with my heart. It's actually one of the reasons of how I, got introduced to the momentum mod. As for now, my like favorite game modes is Bhop, Surf, and I kind of like Defrag. It's kind of unique, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah, but I mean I'm not that pro, but still that's like my favorite one. So
Yeah, you don't have to be pro to like it.
Mhm.
That's what makes it fun. Sometimes. Who's next?
Okay. I used to surf loads. I surfed since I was like 12 or something. I remember like playing like skill surf back when like all the skill surf maps had like a jail at the end, and if someone beat the bonus too fast, they'd just shoot you. So I've always really
So combat surf is combat surf is your favorite.
Well, no. It was skill surf. It was
Yeah,
but
with
like
the
after
timer.
6 minutes, you all fight,
Mhm.
and someone can just beat the bonus and kill everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
So I used to really enjoy that as a kid, but I've never actually been that good at surf. I've never been like more than like tier 4 in any of the modes, which is terrible. I guess, but apart from AHOP, which is I'm like a shitty version of Gocnak. I used to do HL2 runs, but was never particularly good. But the main reason I got into Momentum was through AHOP, because I was like in the Source Runs Discord and talking about that stuff there a bunch. And people were getting more and more interested in making like custom Half-Life 2 maps for just speedrun movement. And then surprisingly quickly we ended up moving AHOP and making AHOP in the game. So I'm very fond of AHOP. It's like a remarkably good mode for like these completely random weird rules. So apart from plus ref.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I'm very much a jumper. Favorite mode is obviously sticky jump. I still have 2 world records on sticky jump. I don't know if anyone's broken them yet. That's on Tempest, but
Damn.
we have a surprising amount of jump representation now as well on the team.
On the
Yeah.
team,
Yeah, Bray's a sticky jumper. Hex is a sticky jumper. Ninja Cookie did a lot of she's a very good rocket jumper. I think they had world records as well.
Yeah.
Ninja's good at every mode, so I mean.
Yeah.
Ninja also is just good at every mode, like a gaming savant somehow. Just incredible. Off the top of my head, okay, I think Plep or Ploppy, also a jumper, rocket jumping, and yeah, got a few others, but
Yeah.
and Cowboyana actually as well. Very
Yeah.
old, long-term jumper. But yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see like all the different modes leading to team member. Then this is what I mean, right? Like word of mouth gets around and then it leads to the game getting better, right?
Yeah.
Because like there was like Beetle reached out to the jump community and that's how jump became a pre 1.0, which led to the like scope expansion of the game to realize that the game's platform would actually be better with more base modes to show off what Momentum is actually capable of.
And also just brought us all a lot of devs. I mean,
yeah, that too, right? Yeah, a lot of team members, right? Yeah. I guess for me, so I used to hold world records in Half-Life 2 speedrunning, so AHOP is my baby, but I love all of my babies equally. So no, that's a cheap answer. So yeah, I mean, before Half-Life 2 runs, I used to do just surfing, right? Just probably the same combat surf. I probably killed Tom in those jails. No, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, combat surf, bunny hop. I came from that kind of like area, so surf and bunny hop, and that's what we started off, right? The game started off as surf and bunny hop. So like those two, and then yeah, AHOP. I mean, yeah, I did so much of AHOP that it's like a given. I'm really liking Conk. I'm getting into Defrag, and I'm really excited, right, for park. I mean, I'm also getting into jump. I like the main reason I'm making this game is to play all of these modes. Like I want to become the Momentum man, to be the one of the players that can consistently do all of the different modes. So I don't have a favorite, but I'm the most like most of my skill is in AHOP because I've just done it so much. I can ABH, right? Like I can do it. But Yeah, I know, crazy. But yeah, it's just every single mode we've added, I adore. Like Defrag is like shaping up to be really, really, really fun. And it's not even fully done yet. There's weapons to throw into the mix yet, right? And there are some entities that need in place too, but yeah, the mode's not even done, and it's really, really fun to just learn the mechanics of. It's a different style. It's a new way to play the game. And so yeah, I'm really excited for for all of these modes, cohesive, like coexisting, being this cohesive product, and then seeing people like, this is my most favorite thing, is like, oh yeah, I got the playtest, signed up for the playtest for Momentum for Serve or something, and I love Conk, right? Like, I love hearing that, right? Seeing people being like, Conk is really fun, actually, or Defrag is really fun. Like, people getting into these other modes because the platform allows them to, right? Like, oh my god. So
I mean, who is picking up Conk? Like, very few people picking up Conk before Momentum, right? And that's not to say that like, oh, we've resurrected Conk, but we've definitely done like a lot of good there,
Yes.
And obviously, and maybe Kong's the only one who can really say that for. I mean, Defrag obviously like has a huge player base in Defrag,
Right.
and other similar.
Ahab didn't. Ahab we invented. Ahab had Half-Life 2 and Portal.
But even with Defrag, which has obviously other versions of the game out there, it's still really great to see the number of people from Momentum that are picking up Defrag just because of it. Like I've played Defrag a little bit before like the actual Defrag game.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, it's not a great experience. I don't personally, because like it feels a bit kind of clunky and kind of, I don't know, not as fun to get into as when you can do it in Momentum and it's just right there and accessible. So.
Yeah. And then the learn sections, right? Anyway. Yeah. So there are more people again on the team that aren't in this call. So we have a wide mix of people from the jump side of things. We have people from Surf and Bunny Hop. And of course, we are taking in the community's input as well for all of the modes. Lumia is very big into Defrag as well. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the mix and just like the representation that we have, and I'm looking forward to how that'll grow or change.
KZ, we are very much looking forward to. Like, KZ is really, if we had like a bunch of extra dev time just for free, we'd do KZ. It's just we don't want to set back 1.0 at all. Like with Defrag, we've got Lumia who's specifically doing Defrag, so we can do work on that.
Yeah.
But KZ does take a bunch of community interaction to get stuff organized and like figure out the actual mechanics and then the implementation. So KZ will be a bit, but I'm really looking forward to that as well. And I'm sure after 1.0 we'll have thousands, or at least 10 CS:GO players just screaming at us, "Oh, you've got Surf and Bhop, where's KZ?" Like, we'll get so much of that after 1.0, and then we'll probably work on KZ.
Yeah. So. And they'll trash the game because of that too. It's like CS:GO has all these modes already. It's like, we're adding it. I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully that helps answer that, Rixlarin, right? We'll move on to the next one. Thank you for that question. More excitement.
Oh, sorry, I was blowing my nose. Yeye asks, what is the Momentum team excited about for this coming month and why?
091!
Because obviously.
It's huge. It's 6 months in the making. We got a brand new... it's closer to 9. That's right. Yeah.
It's been...
Fuck.
091 has been so long, and it's finally... We're out of the woods. Like,
yes.
The really, like, hideous bit of development. Honestly, I think... I've not been on the project that long compared to some other people, but like the amount of porting stuff has just felt like this mountain of work. It's been, but still, there's still some UI stuff, but it's all touching up stuff we've already got and we're now familiar with. Getting all that out of the way is such a weight off our shoulders.
Yes.
And so the big thing in 091 is essentially we finished porting all of our UI from VGUI, shite, to Panorama, lovely. Which is, so VGUI is the old UI system. Panorama's Valve's new one that's in basically the Source 2's UI system that they backported to Source 1 for CS:GO, which we now have access to. So all of our fancy new UI is in Panorama. And it's been a ton of work getting stuff ported over because stuff like, damage indicators even, like this really basic stuff, we needed to port that. And so it's just a lot of time, and a lot of it's quite boring, sort of thankless work. But we've finally got through it. I got to work on a lot of the really fun stuff, to be fair, and I think like BLT and Bray especially have had some really, really boring panels to port. But we're finally done. And it's now, False is dead.
False's cat. I think.
So yeah, it's also start a defrags in 091. We've got 091's bigger than 090. What was in 090? Initial panorama portals and
right. It was
Yep. 090 was about 3 months of work.
Yeah.
And honestly, it felt like less work in some ways. I don't know. 091 has just been a drag because it's been just a mountain of work.
Yeah.
That's not us just feeling sorry for ourselves. It's just been really like tiresome and boring a lot of the time. So it's 091, I would say, is at least twice the size. I'd actually say about 3 times the size as 090, maybe.
Yeah, I mean of work. Again, the changelog is probably going to be pretty short because it's like the main thing is just added panorama UI, and there's like all of the new panels, but it's like every single one of those like was like, oh, refactor the map cache system, refactor how the map selector, like a lot of it was just rewriting and like
map selector was so much
reimagining all of it. It's not done, too. 092 is going to be expanding on it. Yeah. But 091 is just porting, getting functional UI in place. So 092 is polishing, making it look better, having miscellaneous features in place, getting user feedback, incorporating user feedback into it. So, yeah, 092 will be interesting. But yeah, 091, writing the blog post, getting that out, seeing people's reaction. I mean,
4 more PRs, then I'm done.
Yes. Yeah,
maybe,
and
maybe there's one other thing I need to clean up, but yeah. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be really good.
It's funny with our milestones that like 087 was the engine change.
No, 088. Yeah.
088, sorry, yeah. Which kind of seems like quite an arbitrary one. It's not like a something. It's an O. It's not an OX whatever. It's an O. 2 decimal points.
Yeah, it's a major. Yeah, it seems like a major release, right?
But 087 and 091 have kind of been the really big ones lately.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why it was 088 is it was supposed to be functionally the same as if you booted, like, the old one.
Yeah.
So...
massive whole engine upgrade, I mean.
Yeah. Right. I mean, well, we bumped to a new engine, but yeah, so that was the way I viewed it, and then 090 was just the start of, like, okay, here's all the chaos, like, work we're doing. So that was just how I viewed that. I mean... I don't know. I'm not really I've never been a project manager before, but anyway. So yeah, Tom and I are both excited for 091. Happy, false.
Yeah, I agree. Localization.
Yeah, it's coming, right? 092 is when we start localization push. Let's
freaking go.
And that'll be in the next one.
All of our JavaScript and XML where we've got hard-coded strings, and like some of them are going to be annoying to.
Oh, they're going to be so bad. Yeah, it's going to be great though.
It's it'll be doable. It's just again that's quite a lot of boring stuff, but we'll get there. And I'm looking forward to getting like the PO editor set up and whatnot. All like actually,
the
I'm
localization
not sure
tool.
Be using the same like plain text file for all the. Oh, we got the ref file and that. Python
the ref.
I don't know if we'll still have that, but
Oh, I don't think we need it. I don't think we use UTF-16 anymore. I think
cool.
it's full UTF-8
yeah.
In Panorama. Yeah. So looking forward to getting rid of that.
That'll be a fun like logistical task is getting all that set up and then getting PO editor export to that done nicely. We've done some of that before, I think, like years ago. But,
there's a Python script in there to do it.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing leadership. I think Happy is going to be excellent for localization work. And I'm sure we'll have other team members paying a lot of attention as well because it's a big logistical task, right? There's a lot of different people involved with localization, and it's actually keeping the organization there and like actually keeping track of everyone and making sure stuff's getting done. That I think it's going to be difficult to pull off, but I think if we can do it, it's going to be great. Yeah.
Speaking for False, I think he's really excited about his cat.
Look at that! Oh, look at that cat! It's so clueless. Look at it. All right. I'm sure False
Doesn't even
is
know what-
also excited for 091, but also probably really excited to start getting guns hooked up
On C
and
models and
animated
stuff.
in game.
Ethan's made some incredible assets and stuff in the last
Yeah.
year. That a bunch of it just isn't in yet, especially the player model. So that's gonna be quite something.
Can we have full screen? If only. This ain't that kind of stream now. Oh my god. All right. So, yeah, we'll move on. Thank you, Yeye, for this question. A lot of exciting stuff coming in this next month.
Yeah.
In the next couple weeks, even.
Oh,
I think
this one.
Yeah. Sorry. So somebody asked 091 when. Probably within like a week or two. It is going to take some time to write and get the changelog video ready. But the remaining cards that we have is what Tom has been working on, and like I'm just hooking it up to C++. So like we're pretty much there. It's just a matter of finalizing. So, and then merging all of it in. So, yep. So should be soon, a week or two. Don't hold us to a date, but it should be very soon. Like we're itching to get it out too. So we're not delaying.
The majority of it's done. I have a bunch of cleanup stuff to do, but
yeah,
it's just a lot of rebasing.
right.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah. Also, the next question's kind of relevant. So Bongus asks, can we expect the implementation for the player model anytime soon, or is that going to be closer to 1.0 soon?
Soon. Yeah.
Actually, the player model's been done for a while. The C model system and all that is now mostly hooked up or fully hooked up. I sort of lose track. But Spring Scale has been working on animations as well, which is amazing because we've had Spring Scale on the team for about 9 months now, and she's done some amazing like animation sort of mock-ups and practice things. But it's only now that we're starting to fully get stuff integrated, which is really exciting because it's a lot of the stuff we've seen from her has been really cool.
Yes.
There's a lot of personality to it. It's got a sort of, I don't know, personality is sort of really the best word for it with animation, where, you know, something has a feel of sort of, not superhuman because it's sort of androidy robot, whatever. But it has, you know, a sort of natural sort of flow that is, you know, you see from really good animators and you don't see from poorer ones. So yeah, Spring Scale stuff is going to be so cool to see in the game.
Yeah, we do need to do some C++ code specifically with anim state stuff. So things like setting when you're surfing, setting when you're jumping, like all of that, I don't think we hooked up properly. So we just need to hook that up. But yeah, once that's hooked up and then we replace the model with the actual one and then send those anim events over to the model, oh baby. Lobbies might not work for a while. We are planning to rewrite how the networking stack works though. So yeah, but for the player model for your replays and stuff like that, yeah, absolutely. It will be soon. The full hookup of everything and like the cosmetics and everything is closer to 1.0 because that's 012, 013 kind of. But yeah. So initial implementation of the player model soon, fully fleshed out over the course of the next major updates. Cool. All right. Moving on. Thank you, Bongus, for this question.
Ark doesn't ask anything. Says, I forgot to have a question ready for the Q&A. So this is just an excuse to share a key in an interestingly obfuscated format.
That's dumb. We're not. Why would we ever do that? Like, Ark, get a question, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, moving on. Thanks, Ark, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. So we just didn't do it interestingly.
He didn't ask an interesting question. No, I'm just...
Wait, where's Notepad? There's another one there.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, Tom's got the actual obfuscated in an interesting way. There will be some in the YouTube description too.
Yeah. Should we move on? Oh, okay. Control F, anti-cheat.
So Plar asks, how will the anti-cheat work? Will it be better than the original games that the gamemodes come from for the gamemodes? So Tom linked the kind of in-depth answer again. We've answered this multiple times at this point now, but so the way that the anti-cheat will work is it's very revolutionary. It'll ban cheaters. Sorry, I just had to do that. I can't really go into depth about how exactly the anti-cheat system will work, as if I did that, there won't really be an anti-cheat. But there are different aspects to it, things like barrier to entry. So submitting a run, for example, you have to get to a certain level. You also have to be an unlimited account on Steam, which means you have to have paid at least $5 to anything on Steam. We recommend you buy CSS because it's the only mounted game that we support that requires buying an asset, right? Or buying rather. That's kind of some of it. Just we're a free-to-play game, right? So realistically, we should do everything that we can to make cheating not worthwhile. That's the best form of anti-cheat, is wasting people's time. So I will remind everyone that we will have built-in task tools with built-in leaderboards for them. So we want to see task runs, right? If people are trying to movement record or whatever, we want to see that on the leaderboards, and we'll give you, a rank or whatever, right? Like we could do that. So that will be supported. But obviously, right, there's people that try to ruin the fun or make them seem better than they really are. And we will be absolutely doing everything that we can to detect them. It's
I need to be proactive.
Yes. Yeah. There are multiple layers to it. So it's not none of it requires a multiplayer server, luckily, right? A lot of the systems in place, like anti-cheat never really requires a multiplayer server. It does require live input capture, right? It does require like data being sent. So that's the like caveat to our branding is like, technically you don't need a multiplayer server connection, but you will need a connection to our servers to submit a run, which is duh. But like we're not going to just trust a run that you just blindly submit, which means that runs that you do offline and runs that you lose internet connection for a significant chunk of or whatever, those won't submit, right? It'll save locally. You can the beauty of our game is if you ever lose internet connection, you can still play it, right? You still have everything locally. It'll still save the replay. You can still play the maps you have. You'll have the zone files cached locally. You can still do all this thing locally. It just won't submit. So we'll make sure that we're updating our the toasts that pop up and everything that just remind you, hey, this run will still run, but it won't submit, right? Just updating the wording around that. Will it be better than the original games for the game modes? Ideally, we have control over the entire stack. The game, we can do things on your computer, but we probably won't because it's just kind of dumb and malicious, right? Like we're not doing a kernel level anti-cheat or anything like that. But ideally, we're aiming to hopefully be better than the original game modes, mainly because we can just collect a lot more information about what's happening. Because we have control over the entire game, right? But again, we're free to play, right? So for consideration, CSS, right? That's $15 or $10 normally. That might be a little bit better in terms of cheater count because cheaters have to pay $10 every time they want to get back into the server, right? Or something like that. So it is going to be a little rocky because we're a free to play game, but we're going to be doing a lot to just proactively detect as well as retroactively like we're not ever going to automatically ban people, if that makes sense. We shouldn't do that ever. I think any auto banning is just recipe for disaster. Whenever you have like innocent people banned, which VAC even has confirms innocent people banned. So yeah, but you have to do something, right? So we're not right now. The game doesn't really do a lot in terms of anti-cheat, but it is going to be worked on closer to 1.0. It's probably going to be the last thing that we get in place. So yeah.
So any run is on, or any PB is on leaderboard, and anyone can see the replay. And
right? So if there are runs that get through, and
not very long.
we'll have a reporting system, for things that get through, which there will be. It gets really depressing. I think the timestamp that you linked, anti-cheat is a depressing thing because it's like you can only have a limited number of people working on anti-cheat compared to the potentially infinite amount of cheat developers that work on cheats, right? And then it turns into like financial motivation, right? Of like the people pay hundreds or thousands of dollars for CSGO cheats that are undetected. And it's like, that's a free to play game. They aren't even buying cosmetics with that money. They're just buying cheats to get to global. Anyway, I don't even know like what people want out of it. So you like the real approach to anti-cheat is, again, seeing what people get out of cheating, right? Like what is the outcome and how can you minimize the impact of that outcome? Right? People spin botting in CSGO, you minimize it by making them do 0 damage, right? So they're just wasting their CPU cycle spinning around in a game, and then you can, forfeit the match for everybody. I don't know. Like there's ways to approach anti-cheat other than just banning, right? Like just straight up like, oh, prevent you from submitting times. That is an option, and we'll look into that. Like we could ban, but it'll be manual. But yeah, I mean, there's other options that we could look into to, again, waste people's time. That is the only effective form. If it is easier for somebody to go and cheat in a CSGO server or CSS server, that is favorable to us, right? Like that technically, right? If you think about it, right? Like that is the best. Like if our anti-cheat is so good that people are like, I'd rather cheat in a CSGO server or something, right? Like that's a win for our anti-cheat. So yeah, but it gets really depressing because then that's still another cheater. I'd love to work with servers. I'd love to like get a list of people that are confirmed, like we confirm cheaters, and just like work with server owners to like just share that back and forth with each other, because that's not going to be fun, especially CSGO server owners, because they have to deal with the same fucking people, and maybe they've already did, and the person comes over to Momentum mod now or something. So I don't know.
That's sort of the reality of cheating. If you are going to be cheating in Momentum, it's going to be on some random fucking account. You can't really associate it with yourself, and it's going to be like no one's.
People are dumb. Yeah, that too. Yeah, we talked about it before, like namesake. Like obviously, like people in communities know who's getting world records, right? Like they've worked towards it. They probably stream. Like a random nobody name that came out of like a month ago, fresh account. Like yeah, obviously raises some flags. But who knows, right? People can practice offline and stuff, right? Like we allow you to play the game offline. We're just not submitting runs, so who knows? So again, it's just a matter of collecting information. We have the access to the full stack of the game. We can collect a lot more information than the server ever gets, a multiplayer game server ever gets. And so we're going to utilize that as much as possible. We're going to be privacy minded. We don't really care what programs you're running, right? Like we're looking more at what you're doing in our game. Yeah, so it'll be fun. But it's not. It's not an afterthought. It is something that we're currently delaying implementing because like we have core things we got to work on first. Like Panorama is more important than anti-cheat right now. We're wiping times at 1.0 anyway, right? Like all of the times you're setting right now are not going to be in the main game's leaderboards. It's going to be a fresh slate for everybody when we drop. So yeah. So it'll be coming. Hopefully this answers this, and the other answers that we've given more in depth in previous Q&As. So
yeah,
cool.
This is the last cheat one that we're going to give any answer to. Next time we get
we'll just have to forward it.
We're looking back to this answer, and the last 3 times you've answered it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, fuck. The next one's hard.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I was not looking. Okay.
I've actually spent quite a bit of time today thinking about this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Asks, what's everyone's favorite cheese? Cawu asks, least favorite cheese.
Oh, I'll take that first of all.
Okay. Yeah.
Since I'm a local cooker here.
Yes.
Sorry. So I don't know the name actually. The
cheese.
one is Gouda, like
Gouda, yeah, Gouda's good.
Yeah, and the second one, M something. I think
Emmental.
Munster?
Munster? I know it's with holes and it's starting on
Emmental.
Maybe. Honestly, don't know. But pretty much those two with the holes in it are my favorite one. The least favorite cheese is a Russian cheese, and in Russia we have melted cheese, and
Yeah.
it's just like foil, and there's a cheese, and it's really bad. You can't even cook with that. It's bad. It's just bad.
Yeah.
There's a sugary version though, and it's just sweet.
Oh,
It's just like God kiss you, it's like really it's just
Mm.
that
yeah.
one is nice.
Okay.
Only the sugary one. The second one is freaking bad.
Yeah.
Cheeses are just, there is such a world of cheese out there. There's so many. If you get into like artisanal cheese and like every sort of Christmas or some like special occasion, like might buy some like fancy cheese, and there's so much to it. I really like sheep's cheeses, like quite sort of grassy. Yeah, I mean, I could go on for a while about this. I won't, but
Yeah.
I tend to really like sheep's cheeses, especially, and goat's cheeses quite a lot.
Oh, goat cheese is good. Yeah.
I think Spanish cheeses are really underrated.
Mm.
I think a lot of sort of quite mountainous sort of northern Spanish cheeses can be really special. I'm not a huge fan of French cheeses, the sort of softer things. I don't know. A lot of British cheese is really good. There's too much cheddar in the world, but some cheddar can be really good. Especially a lot of Welsh cheeses are really great. I mean, Welsh cheese making is great because you have so much, dairy farming.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. There's really a lot to cheese. So I don't know quite what my favorite would be. It would probably be some kind of Spanish sheep's cheese. I can't remember the name of the place that there's some cheese from. But there's a place in Bath where I live, the fancy cheese shop that sells this Spanish sheep cheese that we get like every Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. It's sort of very like robust sort of. But anyway, least favorite cheese. I think the obvious thing would be like an American Kraft single sort of thing.
Yes. Damn it, you took my
I think
answer.
those kind of do have a place. I mean, they're gross, but it's
Ooh.
kind of good gross.
Yeah.
Like as a sort of burger topping cheese. I don't
Mm.
know. I'd say actually Red Leicester's a cheese I don't like very much, Erin, I'm afraid. I think it could just be a bit salty and kind of a bit one-dimensional. But I mean, cheese is, I could go on for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good topic. It's actually because there's so many.
More about
And
answering this. Yeah.
no, yeah, we're putting more care into
This is the important thing is, good cheese making is about really good agriculture, and it's about really, hard work by farmers and dairy farmers that are doing Velveeta. That might be the worst. So, in a way, it can seem a bit sort of like posh and snooty, like certain like fancy cheese and stuff. But the reality is that a lot of those cheeses are made by really serious craftspeople, and there's a real depth to it, and we should be greatly appreciative of cheesemakers that are making interesting cheeses in the world.
Yeah. For me, I don't know, it's boring answers. It depends. So, like, if I'm putting it on something, right? I found that Munster cheese or Gruyere. Gruyere is really good too.
It's serious cooking cheese. I mean, there's the nuttiness and
yeah, and like those go really good on like deli sandwiches. I mean, I can't go wrong with like Swiss though, like baby Swiss cheese, like Swiss cheese on like or like ham and cheddar too. A good cheddar. Least favorite cheese, American cheese. I hate it. And mozzarella, really stringy mozzarella. I want to vomit. Like if it's like you pick up a piece of pizza and it's like stringy and it like you can pull it for like hours. That is so gross to me because I'm just like the constant thought in my mind is like I'm gonna choke on this. Like this is where I die. And I've had terrible mozzarella stringy experiences, and I think that's what's like weighed it. But yeah, American cheese, just I don't know. There's much better cheeses than American cheese. Yeah, that stringy mozzarella. We do charcuterie boards a ton when we have people over. And it is, I mean, just the variety of cheese that luckily my local store is getting. Yeah, I've had like I think I've had a Spanish cheese before too, and it's just like you can pair it with like a jelly or like a grape or like crackers, and it's so good.
It's very posh, but actually good like cheese and wine pairing is a really special.
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah. I don't drink wine either, but yeah.
But if you know, I've done stuff before of having like cheese paired to specific wine and stuff, and that is a really like there's so where you have a cheese and a wine that are both very complex and a lot going on, and they pair well. I mean, that is just sort of the perfect sort of experience,
right? Yeah,
like that sort of classic sort of French countryside with like a baguette, some cheese, and some wine. Just one of the sort of great sort of food experiences of
yeah.
I'll add two more things.
Yeah.
It's a small things. So I forgot to add that in Russia we have a cheese. It's literally called cheese tail. It's like a
cheese tail.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or tail cheese. It's like a beer snake. I don't really know what type of cheese is it. It's just cheese in strings, and it made like
like mozzarella sticks or like sticks of mozzarella. Mozzarella sticks are like deep fried American.
It always comes in the like a ponytail, like the girls make,
you mean similar to mozzarella's and stuff.
Okay.
And it's really salty, but it's too good with the cheese, and it's like a proper beer snack. Maybe. And the second thing about cheese, I made a mac and cheese yesterday or yesterday. The one it went really fucking good. The one thing, I didn't have milk.
Ooh, your roux must have. Did you make a roux or did you just melt cheese?
Yeah, no, I did a roux.
Oh, without milk?
It's kind of worked.
Okay.
Milk was I must have milk.
Yeah, roux.
My phone's bookmark, I've got a link to MF Doom's mac and cheese recipe that was in some like album notes.
Oh my god!
Like I need to get the specific cheeses for it, but eventually I want to do it. I want to try it out.
Okay.
There's this great photo of Doom and his kid, and he's just holding a thing of mac and cheese in one hand. He's wearing the mask. He's got his kid in the other, and it's just such a great photo. I want to cook that sometime.
Oh wait, did False bounce? Yep. Is he? Oh, he's out. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me change to this and then swap. Oh crap. Hold on. I gotta add. If only I had.
I'm gonna be up 8 minutes. I need to talk.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Oh, all right. There's Tom. All right. Let me just copy transform real quick. Hold on, and paste it onto Tom. Sorry guys, this is I'll look into doing a better like Zofa prints. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. So once Tom's back, anyway, yeah, I'm looking into doing a better layout system for these streams. But thank you, PX and Cawu, for these questions. Really great. Cheese is wonderful. I don't have too much of it. I think I might be lactose intolerant because mostly when I do have a lot of it, I usually break out or get gassy or whatever. So very fun, TMI. But anyway, we're going to move on from that to Tofu's question here. What kind of issues did you guys have in your original communities that you were excited to fix or like get rid or like, like have in Momentum? All right, so I'll go. The main thing is just what the core features of Momentum are, right? So the map selector, right? Being able to play any map at any time is just huge, right? Like that is honestly that's probably the biggest feature for a lot of people. Just being able to. I mean, obviously you could buy a private server or host a local server on other games to do it, but when you have like just a built-in like here's every map we support, leaderboards for it all, like when it's all centralized in one point, it is just so nice to just be able to like be like, okay, I'm done with this map, go to another one. completely different game mode. Like, and that's the other thing too. It's all in one game. You don't have to close momentum, boot up TF2, like you don't have to do any of that. It's all here, right? Well, actually, yeah, you would close momentum. You close like CSS or something. Anyway, so like that's the really nice thing, right? Is it's all centralized. And that I think is the main thing, right? Like there are servers that centralize specific game modes and maybe sprout into other game modes. I know there's like Bhop servers that also host Surf, that also like might be on TF2 as well. But the problem becomes it's across different games. You're across different servers. You can't play on any of those maps unless you want to, or unless you're the only person on the server, or you're VIP that lets you veto or whatever. Like there's like all these like random features like that, and it's like with Momentum, it is you get to choose. Like you have the power to play whatever you want, and then with whoever you want, you can open a lobby. You don't have to join a lobby. You could do a roaming lobby if you want to play with random people. And like you could also just leave all those lobbies and just play by yourself and still set times and everything. So that was like the other aspect too. It's like you don't have to deal with toxic people. Like if there's somebody toxic in a public lobby, you could leave, but we also have tools for like muting and reporting them too, but don't worry about that.
Even mute their map.
Yeah. Yeah, and for however long you want to, nobody's going to join in an RTV, right? You don't have to worry about like, oh, you're the only person on the server for the next hour, and then once people start waking up in the other time zone, they come in and RTV you. You don't have to worry about that. So just a lot of the core functionality of Momentum is really just like why Momentum exists, right? Why it's being made is if servers had a way to do multiple game modes easily, I'm sure this would be mitigated somewhat, but then you still have the inherent problem of being able to play whatever map you want whenever you want. I know KZ on CS:GO has kind of a similar system where I think you can local host it. So I guess KZ kind of is ahead there, but yeah. I'll give them that, and that might be why Casey's taking a bit, but also just like it's also still you have to go and get into that community, right? There's no ease of access into it other than finding it, and whereas Momentum, it is part of the game. You hit the play button, you see it, right? So yeah, that's my answer for this. Welcome back, Tom, and happy.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
I don't really have anything to add because I think that sort of just sums up the core issue with, all the modes currently on servers. It's just once you start playing Momentum, the idea that you realize that a lot of people that are playing these same modes are doing it on servers where they can't pick the map they're playing on, and it just seems ludicrous. It's really just it's stupid. So yeah, I don't really have much to add beyond that. It's
oh, whoops. My bad.
Oh,
I had XP Man's thing over top. That's not XP Man. Thank you for pointing that out. I was happy.
There's just yeah, I don't know. There's so many advantages to having a game built for this in the way multiplayer we do multiplayer just makes far more sense. Like we don't have to have a central server because why have one like for this? You don't need it.
Central multiplayer server. You still need a central backend and stuff for globalization.
Sure, you're not syncing the state of every player like on the server, which is just just stupid. It's unnecessary for these modes. Which
well, for me, I didn't play like Surf or anything like that in TF2 a lot. But if I did, I always hated this, ramp issue when you just can
ramp
stop.
bugs.
Yes, yeah, you just stop on it and you starting over again. And the prison part is always was annoying to me, especially if there was no people. I mean, the concept is fine, but those servers were pretty much half dead, so yeah. And the second issue I had is that back in my 6v6 time, since I was a roamer again, I had this it was really rarely happening, but sometimes when I started to rocky jump, you always shoot backwards first, and sometimes those splash, damage didn't register. So
ping, yeah.
I need to make a ping. Like I need to make a rollout, but the rocket just doesn't do anything, and
right.
I died a lot just because somebody chased me, some scout or something.
Right.
So yeah. That's like two issues. I think big issues I had.
Yeah. Right. Like making ping optional is so big, right? Especially for the projectile modes, because it's you don't have to worry about it. It's all local. Rendered as you get it. People are fucking up syncs because of that, but it's just something you gotta like learn. You gotta unlearn muscle memory or like visual cues and relearn it for momentum, but it's still possible. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of the jumpers on the team would agree. Ping would probably be the biggest one. There are some people that might have dealt with toxicity too, coming into our community. You get a fresh start. You get people that aren't power hungry because they're also like the admin of the server, and like they can be racists openly and there's nothing you can do about it because they're admin and you can't go anywhere else, right? Whereas like again, momentum is like you don't even have to join our Discord to play the game. Like we want you to hang out with us, but you don't have to. We're not racist. That's also another point I should probably clarify. Like there's a lot of like, I guess just like having a fresh start too can just it's nice. You get to view the problems and start from the ground up and build the game around fixing all of those. What? Why not? I don't know. I guess I just didn't Bhop that much when I was young. I don't know. Anyway, there's definitely a lot of more niche issues too that I'm sure a lot of other team members could specify, but and that's the beauty of momentum is we're looking at these issues and designing the game around fixing them, right? So people coming in with gripes or anything like that, making it part of just like the core like game, making it better, right, than the platforms that you've come from is part of our goal. Not to brag to the original platforms, because again, the original platforms needed to exist for anything that even happens, right? Like we have utmost respect for all server owners and stuff out there. Like it's where we came from, right? I didn't play surf by myself, right? I joined servers for that. But eventually things evolve, and that's what momentum is aiming to be. It's the evolution.
Good game, basically.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Tofu, for this question. We'll move on to, I think, some of the last questions here by Vortex.
Yeah, the next two questions are silly, and then there's one decent one, and then we can show stuff off.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to all stream.
All right.
What inspires my stream titles? The dwindling sanity. I was just been doing graph stuff all week, so I named the streams after like graph puns, which I could think of like 2, and then gave up. So yeah. I don't know. I feel it is. I do stream on the Momentum channel, which made me think I should be a bit more serious with like the titles, but at the same time, no. So yeah.
No, it's valid. Puns are valid. It's what I use for the blog post too. It's just puns.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, really, with the stream, that is nice to be able to sit down and like, it's on the Momentum channel. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything completely insane, but it's nice to be fairly casual and just hang out with people in chat and in team voice.
You guys get to see progress.
Yeah,
it's always good.
And just me sort of losing my mind staring at JavaScript for same like method for half an hour. And the next one is like the same.
Yeah, thank you, Vortex, for that.
Yeah, cheers, Vortex.
And then Red.
Are you having a graph day? I mean, it proves my point. It's really hard to make like graph puns. Like I think I did 3, and one of them made no sense. So one was, "Are you having a graph, mate?" And it was Godric the Grafted.
Godric the Grafted.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that one's better. Yeah, I'm pretty graphical right now.
We can show the graph off in a minute.
Oh yeah.
I've got a really funny way to stop from breaking as well. You're like,
oh boy.
break the resolution thing.
Oh okay.
So yeah, that should all be working. And I've got a way to make it work if it doesn't. So
okay, that's good.
Cool. And then lastly,
thank you, Red.
Of course, sorry. Will there be some sort of gravity star implementation for parkour at any point?
Maybe. So Gravity Star is one of the grenade types in Titanfall 2. You throw it, it kind of attaches to any surface that it hits, and then it kind of like zooms or like pulls away from the surface and then ticks down like a 3-second timer. There's a specific timer for it, and then it explodes. And there's a really cool grenade jump that you can do in Beacon 2. Flexing my Titanfall 2 knowledge. But yeah, you use the Gravity Star there to boost all the way over to the dish. Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what kind of weapons parkour is going to want. I don't know. Mainly Titanfall 2 has weapons because it's a shooter. and you shoot enemy Titans and stuff, right? So I don't know if movement dictates it, we can add it, but community kind of wants it too. We can do that. I don't know.
It's like con grenade, but that falls down really slow, or
yeah, no, you kind of, it's like a ninja star.
Oh.
So that's why it's called Gravity Star. Is like it also pulls it makes like a temporary black hole, I think, and pulls stuff towards it. I think, if I recall correctly.
That must have some, yeah.
And so like it's a gravity well or whatever, and then it explodes, and that explosion is what you use to boost. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's a cool weapon design. I don't know how much parkour is going to need it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think in every case of the mode, it is good to start with like the really basic core movement and get that right before thinking about other stuff. Like, a hop doesn't need an SMG nade, or that sort of thing. With Titanfall 2, I have no idea.
Right, weapons like those are kind of modifiers really to the base. Like we're looking at base modes and the base movement tech. Like how do you move in all of these modes? And then building on top of that is like, okay, so like modifiers are the weapons, right? Defrag maps, you can do strafe only, or you can have, plasma gun, like rocket launcher to boost you further and like get faster times on these maps that would otherwise be strafe only. Or do shortcuts and stuff, like just crazy skips or whatever. So yeah, like there's definitely a case-by-case basis of like, all right, does the mode really, really need like these things in it to operate? Or can we get by with just like the basic movement and then like slowly add things over time as like these things are raised? Yeah, like we can look into all of it, just like as it gets developed. But right now, the main focus on parkour is going to be getting the movement in and feeling good, which hopefully, I mean, the Titanfall 2 community is really awesome, so I'm hoping the Titanfall 2 community helps out here. Fizzy was doing some implementation work there for making it feel more and more like Titanfall 2. They also have their own game, so they know their stuff. But I mean, it is going to be a community effort for that, and that's why it's delayed with Climb till after 1.0, because yeah, we got we got other modes on our plate currently, and if we get dedicated dev work for it, we can get it in earlier, but it's just kind of scheduled for them. But yeah,
strafing and all that is much more 2.0 game thing.
D-hop
right now.
That's what Ox coined,
which is genuinely really fun. Is just right now the scope of the project we want to keep more straightforward and focused.
And again, I love seeing it. Dust didn't even know
CDF2
Dust didn't even know about defrag before Momentum, but now spends like 60% of their time doing defrag. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's like, again, we're not trying to be better than the defrag game or anything, but it's like this is like one of the really great benefits of Momentum centralizing everything.
Yeah.
Right? Just eyes on modes that look interesting. You can learn it and then apply. But I think that's it for our questions. Thank you, Panda, for that last one there. Were there any that we captured during the stream No.
think so.
Bray
We had a
usually
couple that we
captures
sort of
them, but
answered as we went through.
that's true. Yeah. Just kind of offhand.
So there's not actually been that many completely unrelated ones.
Cool. Okay. Then that means we get to go and play the game.
Yeah.
So let me get over to
One thing I was
yes.
just thinking, Gok. For the end of run to work, you kind of need to have some replays. Otherwise, the first time you see, you're not going to see a graph or anything.
I can go
So
to
just copy in all your replays from your install over to your dev build. Maybe.
True.
That's what I
I mean, I could just play on Bhop easy and just like show off my Bhop.
Yeah, we could just show
or Conk could play on. I probably have some actually locally. We'll see, because I've like played maps on
actually, Kong Speed Whip. I think you probably have done on stream.
That or INAFT. Like I think I beat INAFT on stream, and then
no, that's true. Yeah.
And plus, we've probably even had someone actually redeem the 10K one. So okay, cool. Let me move over to this. That. Oh, it's all lined up. Oh wait, we don't have XB man. So move you guys up. Okay. All right.
I'm having
cool.
A weirdest bug with my game.
Are you on playtest or just
playtest?
Yeah, always do playtest. The base build, I mean, it's updated at the same time, but it's like, yeah, you should really be on playtest because that's where all the lobbies and stuff.
But like, everyone should be on playtest. Everyone. Like,
yeah.
Anyone that's not on playtest is just pointlessly not being able to play multiplayer with anyone. Like,
please play Momentum mode playtest.
Wait, did the April one not? No, the April one. Okay, there we go. The April one did announce. I was like, why is our main menu not saying the April one?
I'm gonna do a public lobby. There's a couple of public lobbies open, but
okay.
I want to do one with a ton of players available. So,
also that's
can
weird.
You try hovering over something? Is hovering working for you?
No, it's not.
Oh. How is this? Okay. That's annoying.
One thing
scrolling
breaks.
And hovering might not work, and I have absolutely no idea why. I was looking through it a bunch earlier and was convinced there was no way it could be something you're having as well, because there's nothing I could see in the code that would affect that. So
well, it's definitely something in the code because it wasn't happening before. But we'll be looking into this. It's not a proper. It isn't a proper Q&A stream without something going wrong in some way. So let me do the whole spiel here, though, about the main menu and everything. So for those of you wondering what the fuck is Panorama, Panorama is a UI framework that we've been so graciously blessed by Valve with our engine access. We have basically rewritten our entire UI stack. I mean, there's some exceptions. Engine tooling as well as some obscure panels have not been rewritten yet. It's mainly been just the core momentum panels that we've focused on. So our main menu, this is Panorama, right? This is all like JavaScript, XML, SAS, right? SCSS. So, right, like you can draw models, right? Like this is a model panel. You can spin this. It's very addicting. You can have a light mode, a dark mode. Like, we can really lean into just the user customization. You can have any model you want for this panel, right? Like stuff like that. We'll have like a lot more stuff in the future. Like there's some empty space right here that we're gonna actually update to have like daily tasks and stuff like that, notifications panel and stuff. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff. We have some like hot links down here, so you can go to our main website, our GitHub, our Discord. There's usually tooltips, but hovering's kind of busted right now. So you'll notice in this drawer panel, multiplayer is optional. So obviously making it part of like this play menu, which is our map selector, I'll get to that in a bit, would be a little dumb. So instead we have it in this side panel we're calling the drawer. So you have all of your lobby stuff in here. You can browse public lobbies, you can join any public lobby or any friends lobbies, or if you're invited, you can join invite only. Scrolling does not work. Wow, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that yet.
Yeah, the scroll bar should be usable. I have
mouse wheel does not work on it though.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, there's some weird input thing where it's not detecting.
Yeah. Anyway, so as you can see, I just joined Tom's lobby. It's really simple. Now it's my lobby. Did you?
Yeah,
you
my bad.
Anyway,
I was-
so because I was second, it delegated it to me, I think. Anyway, yeah. So so you can host a lobby just like this, and because now I'm lobby host, I can edit stuff. I can make it friends only. I can change the max amount of players that are allowed in it. I can invite friends. I can leave it at any time. It's pretty good. And then yeah, as you can notice, I'm in menu. I can chat with everybody. You can see who's chatting down here. You can normally scroll through the list of people, but I have to like click and drag right now. So yeah, you can play with anyone you want.
I think it's your fault.
Oh, okay, cool.
Something you did in the Toast Manager did it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. I
Yeah.
don't know what. I only got rid of the toast events, and then I
It started
changed.
happening when you merged the toast stuff in, and then I rebased on top of
Hmm.
that. And now, if you go in Panorama Expect, the Toast Manager is like the only thing that has basically every time you click or scroll, it's trying to do something in the Toast Manager, not everything else. I
Uh-oh.
think you might have given it like some context or something.
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't do anything other than merge. So I didn't fix any of the code or anything. Yeah, okay. I'll look at that after the stream. That's fine. But anyway, that's good to know. Yeah?
I fixed it. Yeah, it's in. Do you want to change it really quickly?
Yeah, I could do that. Wait.
Toast Manager XML. Toast Manager XML. You can literally do an F7 reload.
Oh, an F7 will work?
Yeah, just give hit test false or hit check children false.
Okay.
To the panel with full width, full height.
Shit, that's right. That's what I did.
it.
I added the convar enabler, so I did cause it.
Yeah,
My
you did
bad.
that, and then So
Yeah.
basically, that panel has hit test.
Yep.
Meaning that every time you click, it's taking input from that. We found it. So.
Okay.
I was so confused looking through all my code, being like, "What the fuck could possibly be doing this?"
Yeah.
JS exception is known. That will be fixed very soon. It's basically end of run stuff. For me to work on it, it needed some stuff pushed to Steam, some C++ changes. So that sort of broke stuff quite a bit. I've been doing everything I can in the last week to finish it. It's nearly there, and all the exceptions will go after that. So,
Shit.
so yeah, for those who don't know Panorama, basically there's a big panel on top of everything else that takes input currently. So every time you click, it's kind of that's input.
Yes. All right. I got hover state. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yep. So hit testing panels is something that I need to study more, but I think I kind of fucked it a little bit.
Yeah. You forgot to put the
Are errors logged automatically? Crashes are but.
Will do
now I can scroll. Let's go. Okay.
I don't need to know more about the end of run errors.
Yes, we care about when you join a map and it crashes on load or something.
Shall we do BLoved real quick and show off end of run?
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to show off. I wanted to also show off. Learn section. Which what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this was talked about in the Q&A a little bit earlier. We want there to be a nice and easy place that you can go click on click on the learn section, right, and learn every mechanic, every technique or something that we can try to teach you for every mode. So we have Bhop, we have sticky jump, and I believe the Defrag one's underway right now. We just need a couple of things. So the idea, right, is that you would be able to basically practice you would be able to practice any. I'm gonna stop hitting asserts there.
Dev, so it's querying the Google sheet.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh, good old. There's a nice little pop up of the VGUI commentary panel. It's pretty great. But yeah, this is Ninja Cookie's work on the Bhop Learn section. So the idea is that it's a singular map, and that load time, by the way, is just because I'm in dev build. It's much faster when it's in release, but when we have kind of haphazard in dev stuff that needs pushed and everything, we kind of do it locally, and that's a dev build. So so here I am on just basic strafing here. So you can see when I go off here, we can turn left, and if I held W, you can actually see it actually tells you, hey, release the forward. Yeah, it screams at you, hey, don't hold forward anymore. Release it, now hold A and move your mouse left, right? So if I I can go back. So if I think if I hit the wall, so if that's not, wait, okay, here we go. Hit the wall, it teleports you back. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then yeah, so this is just educating kind of the basic. Wait, what? Oh, okay. That's a little bit of a bug, but that's just educating the basic, like, this is a basic strafe, right? So now let's go into mixed strafing, right? So you hit practice here. We'll have better UX. Like, obviously, we don't care about the leaderboards for this. Like, you're not going to have leaderboards for the learn section. So we'll actually change the leaderboards to be this panel in.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, we'll have it be, like, better. But yeah, so here you go. You're learning mixed strafing here. That, I think, is a bug just with slide. And then here's like quick strafing. So once at a corner, turn quickly. So once you're here, yeah, you want to let go of W. This is just teaching you how to strafe, right? And I won't spoil all of these because this is in the playtest, so you guys can actually.
And feedback here is really useful.
Yes. So if you guys are like, hey, this sucks, or like I don't get it, or I gave it to my grandma and she kept failing. So this is like now doing it through the air, right? And then so you can start to see how it builds up here, right? So now let's go to crouch jump Bhop, right? So like this is like
a really good question and kind of.
Sorry, what?
Sorry, that was a good question, chat. I wanted to, but yeah, you go.
But yeah, so oh wait, oh okay, you gotta this is yeah. So if you don't hold jump, it'll teleport you back. And then yeah, we want to make sure that you're using the right thing. Oh my god, this is actually really cool. This is the first time I've like been playing it. Yeah. So yeah, and then here's like medium air strafing. So this is like left right, right? Like you want to make it onto here. So like here, I'll show you. If you don't press anything, you won't make it. Like you barely not make it. And then so like you want to try to like strafe left and right like really quickly, right? To get like some airspeed to make it. So
pretty forgiving, but
yeah, it is pretty forgiving. It's actually pretty close there, but it needs to be because it's only medium. So I'm sure a hard version will probably be really precise where you got to get like a 90 or above sync. But yeah,
90.
Yeah, I mean the hard section, right? So it's making use of just like yeah, it's making use of like everything. You can see in the bottom right, the jump and duck keys are blocked, so you shouldn't be focusing on jumping here. You should be focusing on air strafing to get to this platform. So yeah, and there's sticky jump as well. So like, oh my god, there's expert now, and oh my god. All right, anyway, so like yeah, sticky jump. If we go to those, what? Did I just crash? Oh no, okay. The game is not liking that map transition. That's okay. But we'll be looking into that kind of stuff. It could also just be my dev build. But yeah, there's like, oh god, wait, hold on. What did I? Single sticky from a ledge. So yeah, this is like, oh yeah, the Bhop playground. I'll show that off too. Oh shit.
It's really nice. Well,
Imagine that translated.
Fuck.
Yeah, the learn section's actually probably going to be the most stuff to localize. Because why I'm really keen that we actually get as much done as possible. But I think inevitably we'll be having like localization work like up until release and past that for like learn and stuff as stuff gets worked on.
Oh, that's how you do it. I learned how to read. Okay. Oh, that's actually fucking sick. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so the idea is you'll be able to eventually search, right? Like you'll be able to like go to we will also have progression as well for all of this, right? So as you do each of these, we'll be saving it out. So just learning more and more. But yeah, it does work. You do need to, if you are playing in the playtest, you do need to boot with dash mapping. Unfortunately, right now. Once we get into 010 and start really fleshing these out more and more, with like the custom entities that we're going to be building for it, it'll just inherently work. So
the learn section is currently entirely JavaScript.
Yeah, it is.
Not
right. It's fun.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do some C++ stuff for that at some point.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, this is that map selector I was talking about, right? So you can search for any map you'd like, right? Any conch map you'd like. You can play them here. Again, sorry about the lag. I'm on a dev build. I don't like playing on dev builds, but it's just with all of the work that we have in progress, we can't merge it all in, so can't release it yet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get more people complaining about the end of run. Not
Come
working.
do an
Anyway.
easy run with me.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, I got rid of that.
Dying to show
Yeah.
off my.
Oh wait, hold on. It's easy. There we go.
Can I ramble a bit just about localization?
Sure. A little bit. Yeah. While I do this run.
You've got 30 seconds.
You got my PB.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that think that localization is translation, and I just want to clear it out, just like a fan fact, I guess. So
Getting ahead of you, Gok.
those people are kind of right, because those things are really, really close to each other. But the main difference between localization and translation is that if translation is just you have a text and you translate it, localization is like management, right? You give translation, people who's gonna make translation some kind of rules, and they translate by those rules, like, because I might be wrong.
Go. Okay. Wait, okay. Okay, Gok. Press tab. Now go to by the overall jumps bit. Click like jumps instead of time. It needs.
Oh, there we go.
Right now, it needs to redraw the graph. Let me see.
Oh, but the line's still fucked.
Okay, wait. Sorry, let me reset the stream so I go less of a delay. It's gonna be demo _ fast forward start speed. Set that to 1.
Okay, that's 1 now. Okay.
Yeah. Now re-render the graph. So.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
So I don't know why that
There we go.
varies for different people, but we'll see. It looks a bit pixely on yours, but that's
That's probably some
some
other stuff there.
We'll figure that out. But it does any stat now. Which is a fun thing I did just this week. So it will graph you anything, and the markers are better and stuff. So yeah, this is new end to run.
Yes. So yeah, sorry, Happy, you didn't fit in under 30 seconds.
I'm sorry.
But this is what we were building up to. It is true though. There's more than just translating a string. It's a lot of work into what the string should be and how it should be kind of like how it should be fit into the game, because there's different ways to interpret a word, right? But we'll get around to it if we can, maybe in the next Q&A. As we start localization, we can start to talk more about it too. But we're going to talk more about the end of run right now. So if we got some time, we'll swing back to that at the end. But yeah, so I guess I'll preface by saying live split is very useful as a speedrunner. Is very useful. Knowing where you are, how far ahead you are. Let me move into like a darker hold on. Okay, so you can kind of see it. Also, I should probably turn off developer, so we're not printing that out. Okay.
Oh, you're doing comparisons, yeah.
Yeah, so on the left, you can see that we have fucking cheeky ghost in here. On the left, you can see that we have a split, kind of like a split like element there that tells you as you're entering each zone how far ahead or behind you are compared to the comparison run. Right now we're only comparing against your personal best. That will change in the distance. We want to allow you to be able to compare against any run. PBs, sure. Your friend's time, world record, group boundaries. What is that explosion? Holy shit.
I have no idea.
Anyway. Yeah, so the idea, right, is that the left side, right, this left side panel is just your time at each of the zones. We will update our timer to be more like accurate with comparisons too. For example, when you hit, like when you're on a stage or a checkpoint and you're like running behind, right, running behind the the like PB or something, it can turn the timer red, or something more live information is better, because the sooner you know that you're maybe missing the mark, or like not not improving or something, the better like chance you have at resetting and just like retrying. So but we also don't want to overwhelm people, right? So realistically, PBs will be what we want you to compare against, because some people don't have friends and some people don't care about going into group 5, right? But we want that flexibility to be able to compare, because that way you can see where you need to improve, right? This is comparing against my PB, so you can see my overall time here. I lost some time on this beginning stage here, but then I ended up saving in stage 3 and stage 4 here. It is just linearly interpolated between the 2 points, so you can see like where you're at, for the run. So yeah, and then you can go zone by zone. So we want you to be able to see stats for individual zones. Now for Bhop, this is probably more applicable, but in like rocket jump and stuff, seeing where like how many rockets you fired, and like you can see like the rocket counts or something. So there will be game mode specific stats that, yeah, obviously rocket count doesn't matter for Bhop. You don't have a rocket launcher. So like keep in mind, we're going to be like, as we approach like the replay refactor, we're going to be getting better stats, getting better information for people that want it. And then, yeah, this is ideally, it's not finalized at all. In fact, this header is shared with the leaderboards. So this is technically part of the leaderboards, because we want you to be able to, we want you to be able to, yeah, you can go back to the leaderboard. So we want you to be able to compare any 2 runs on the leaderboard with each other. Like that is the goal in the future. But by default, this end of run panel will show your run you just did and the comparison run of your choice, which you'll be able to change in the future. That's coming like 0.12. So yeah, I guess that's my spiel. Tom, you can take it away from there if there's anything that you want to talk about.
I think you've got most of it. There's still some stuff I need to clean up with all this. The graph has been really complex because it's all from scratch, and like I had to do all the maths, which is not really that hard. It's just a lot of linear interpolations, and some annoying logarithms and stuff for getting precision values right. It's so loud. Holy crap. What are people doing?
They're shooting their guns.
But it's a pretty, like adaptable system. I was really pleased that adding like the passing of the other stats and graphing those was like relatively easy.
Yeah.
Because of how everything else was made. And yeah, I mean, yeah, live split is obviously a huge influence both on the HUD comparison bits, but also just the graph itself is a live split thing.
Yeah.
Like the idea comes straight from that. Live split's amazing. We could potentially do that graph on the HUD comparison as well, like one that like updates each stage, kind of like live split does.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. But now the base components are in, we have a lot of freedom with it. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot more to it. It's really something people just need to play around with. I actually managed to get it to throw an error in which it actually swears at you because I wrote the error. But,
yeah.
Sometimes if you have the exact same number of jumps in your run as your PB, it's going to try and divide by 0. Because it's going to have a Y height of 0. So at some point in the the range is 0. So in the various like LURPs, it's going to divide by 0. Throws an error. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get it in the next couple of days. There's just a lot of stuff on this branch.
Yeah.
Finishing up.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. It looks, I think, really good. Yeah, and at some point, I think once you have a PB, we can add a arrow in the leaderboards to take you back to your last end of run. That's easy to do.
Yeah.
Because I think that's quite common that like you want to just see your last end of run, but also it would be really nice to make it so you can look at like a local replay you've got and set that as like review end of run or whatever. Kind of like how someone was asking for like a PR info command earlier, right? Where you just be able to see the end of run page for that run, and then in that page you could then go and set a new comparison and see, oh, how did this run compare against this other run I did? Like, as long as we've got the data of the 2 runs stored, we've now got all the nice handling that does the handling between the 2 comparisons, and graphs it. So yeah, it's all pretty easy to hook up. It's mostly just like game and backend stuff that's needed.
Yeah.
Almost PB though. Yeah. But overall, I just want to see people try it out and enjoy it, because I think it's, for me, like, the previous stats were just kind of, you didn't really learn very much about your run when you got to the end, right? It was, even with some of the mock-ups we had, like, I felt like without the graphing, it was just not particularly informative, because it was just a bunch of numbers which
Right.
are not very, human passable. That's why graphs exist.
Right.
So yeah, I think this helps.
Yeah.
And I think for some modes, like say Defrag, actually being able to see like your enter or your average speed in different zones and stuff, compare those against your PB, that would actually be quite useful. Yeah. So.
And then I wanted to mention the toast panel. So for those of you that have played the playtest before Panorama, before I guess the next update coming out, you would have seen a nice blob, like rectangular blob, taking up the right half of your screen whenever you tried to start a run, when cheats were enabled, when mapping mode's enabled, if you're trying to no clip out of here. So we basically took all of those messages and made a web-like toast manager that puts all of those messages up in the corner, kind of out of the way, but there to let you know. And it even shakes if you're getting the same exact message multiple times. So as you can see, hey, just reminding you, cheats are enabled. We're in mapping mode.
I'm an idiot.
Oh yeah, I reported that. So and it's really customizable in the sense that like each of these toast messages could be different duration. They could have different styles. So as you could see, if I restarted back and tried to no clip out, it's red, error. You can actually have icons and stuff. Let me show the controls library.
Yeah,
I gotta disconnect for this.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So also, just showing off. So right, there's a left side to it, there's a center, there's a right side to it, which is kind of the default. You can do, different colors, there's different styles that you can override. There's ones with icons, which we're gonna change the errors and stuff to use icons by default. You can even do custom layout ones where maybe you put like an avatar panel or something. You can put random text on it. Oh, the long guy died. Oh no.
Oh, long guy. No.
I got something else. I have to convert that. Oh god, what is that even? It suffers from that fucking text wrapping issue, though. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I know. Oh, right. Sorry,
That's right.
Reading
anyway, there's different durations. So if something's, 1 second's probably a little too fast, but there's also ones that never expire. So it's always there. And then maybe what we can do is when you pause, you can click on it to dismiss it. You can also just, programmatically clear it. Yeah. So
the clear animations are really nice. If you do a ton of them in the random text, so they queue, and then clear them all at once, it looks really good. Also, there is a queuing system that's probably completely over-engineering it, because you really like to ever see different toasts at once. But it will queue toasts.
So if I click custom layout like 12 times and then we just wait, I think this dismisses on its own.
Well, random text should do it, right? Oh no, okay. Why is that not being?
Yeah, you can see them.
Well, those should be duplicates.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's not detecting it as a dupe.
You'll need to look at these. I defined it is identical to method in each instance of a toast.
Gotcha. So it just needs to look at custom layout if it's okay.
Yeah, there must be something that's not. The equality is just not coming true.
But yeah. So toast, we're really looking forward to putting that in, getting more meaningful error messages, localizing them localizing them so that people are aware, hey, the timer's not going to be running because there's these errors, and it's not hidden, it's not printing out only to console, right? Like it's there, it's in your face. Yeah. And then there are some more drawer tabs that are coming in soon. So I'll start with the credits. I guess that's the most important.
Yeah.
We have a dedicated credits panel in game credits that's going to have all of the team members, all of the contributors. They're not currently on. Like we actually have to go through.
Yeah. That's a
and so
happened to us now.
Yeah. And so you can just kind of like hover over and see like more detailed information if you want to email anybody here. Like, it's basically just looking at the team. It is structured this way, but again, we're all equal. It's just kind of hierarchical in terms of like reporting structure, right? And then the changelog. the recent changelog. So, yeah. So,
I still need to get some more people to fill out that fucking spreadsheet.
oh yeah, we gotta start
If we
chasing
wanna
down
do-
tails or
Yeah.
kicking people from the team. Yeah. So we will have more credits in terms of like software that we use that
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
thankful
yeah.
of, like open source software as well.
Especially.
So we're not done with the credits, obviously. Like this isn't all who ever worked on the game. So we have a lot of credits to go through. But this is the idea there. And then just kind of like all this information here. And then we also need the version. I thought the current version should be exposed.
Oh,
so that
shit.
that needs to be
Yeah,
that should be probably somewhere on this panel somewhere, maybe in the changelog.
I know exactly how to I know where it should be as well.
But yeah, and then eventually challenges. So watch a previous Q&A about challenges if you'd like to see what we have in store for those.
Yeah.
And then your personal kind of your stats. This is all mock data. Obviously,
Yes,
I haven't
it is,
played
yeah.
Bhop Trojan Tree, and I'm not ranked 19,000 because we only have 11,000 people.
This is important to clarify. This won't be hooked up for 091.
Yes, yeah, because it needs web work.
It's very heavily web work dependent, but
donation leaderboards, no, unfortunately.
But yeah, if I end up getting licensed, it will largely be to do this stuff anyway. Where I'll be doing a lot of the just API hooking up because I really love stats.
Yeah,
I want to get this all in. So yeah, this is all the level indicator thing's quite nice. Yeah, the little so you can see the new prestige icons we made there.
Yeah. And so, you know, this is like, these are units, you know, you'll have units up there, you'll have your level and like a prestige, right? You'll meet people that are prestiged and what that means. So yeah, yeah, we got a lot of great stuff planned. It's kind of just like looking forward to it. And then, yeah, your recent activity that you've done, because this is all about you. This is your profile, like stats at a glance, things that you've done. Yeah, and it's pretty good. I guess the only thing that we don't have kind of like a mock-up or anything in place of is the cosmetics like inventory and store. Those are coming later.
We have a mock-up.
It's just not implemented.
It won't be in for a while. Yeah.
But it's not important to get in. Yeah, it's not important to get in yet.
Season level tail or just arbitrary numbers. Based on XP, like you'll go up after you hit level 500 of like no prestige, you get prestige 1.
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty.
It's 3,000 and
yeah.
So we're gonna have to like expand out the amount of XP you get for each map in the API in the future. Probably around the time we do a reset because like Doc is level 19.
Right.
Out of 3,000 and.
But then again, we don't have thousands of maps.
There's not that many maps, so yeah, Gok should probably be about level 150 instead of that. It's probably gonna go about factor of 10. We'll see. And again, I mean, we want to take a very long time to reach 3,000.
Right, we don't want to. Level 500 shouldn't be in like a day or two. Like it's gonna be a grind. It's more of just like, again, recapping the ideology, right? Cosmetic system, right, is how much you've played momentum. It's not how good you are, it's just how much you've played, how many maps you've beaten, how many PBs you've set, races if you've played any of those.
Still get more
rank XP, rank points are how good you are. Like you are the best at bunny hop, and that's also what'll be here. Oh wait, whoops, sorry. Here, all right, like each of these modes, you'll have like a medal for each of these, and we'll have like, oh, like you're a really good surfer, you'll have like we have a whole scale of different materials, so that will also be in place there too. So we're rewarding both sides here because we know there's going to be people that never really care about grinding out like crazy times. They just care about improving their PB until they feel satisfied with it. And we want to reward that, right? Cosmetic system, all of that. And then there's people that grind out times nonstop, trying to get world records and stuff. We want to reward those people too. So, yeah.
One last thing to show, if you're done with that.
Yeah.
Settings, guys. It's only in the Defrag one currently because that's the one
oh yes, that's right. Yeah. So Defrag.
This is a little feature I did in like an evening when I realized this would be quite easy to do. We've had to do some engine stuff to make it even better since because we actually wanted to compress the string down better. So yeah, basically, it will go through that settings page, it'll iterate through all the settings thingies, and find out what convar they're looking at, and it'll grab that convar and export them to plain text. So it can either do This is going to change a little bit before I get it in, but yeah, it can either do just a list of all the convars and their values. Nice localization there.
Yeah,
Or it can
speaking of
do-
localization.
This is the smallest we're ever going to get this string, probably.
Yeah,
This
realistically.
is literally. Well, honestly, we might end up doing a bigger one because the compression is quite good, where we could actually have it store the convar names as well, so it's works between updates.
Yeah.
This current string, if we do an update that changes the order or the stuff in those settings, that will break. There's even a little warning there. And that's just because I'm indexing it against like the actual settings panels themselves because it saves space in the like overall string. We might change that and make the string longer, but like lasts longer. We'll see.
I mean, I don't expect us to. I don't expect us to be changing like vars and like too much. Like we could always append. Like there's ways to get around it. So
yeah, for sure. But yeah, this is just a very convenient system for sharing stuff. So, and also there's the defrag stuff is really long. It's 29 things, and a lot of them are colors, which take up quite a lot of data. So
yeah, right.
But soon I will add these for every settings panel. Apart from some of the ones that just don't make sense to do, probably like video settings, I guess. Or maybe video settings is fine actually. And yeah, it's just a convenient way of sharing stuff because it's kind of a pain at the moment, and always has been in Source games. So. Yeah.
These color entries have like a giant like 30 pixel gap on the right side. What the hell? Anyway, it's weird polishing stuff that 092 will figure out. But yeah, and like if you turn stuff on or off, you can see specific settings. Settings. The settings page is so good.
Also,
now.
It's
so good.
The combos, those are really nice.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff can be comboified. There's a bunch of changes I'm going to make to settings in 092. Like the searching's not very good. But I mean, I'm still pretty chuffed with the whole settings page. Momentum as a game just inherently has so many fucking settings. Because you have like
so many
subsection. Like Defrag, which has 29 options with just Defrag HUD.
Yeah.
So making a settings page just like actually like coherent is really hard, and I think we're getting there. The combos and stuff are really nice. Like if you have something disabled, it's just not going to show the whole thing.
Main menu controller content panel add class main menu page container
you went
hidden.
There's some missing null check because you went in the controls library. I'll make a note.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right.
Something in the
forgot about that.
That's just
momentum on skins. Yeah. I'll be on Conk INAFT because somebody does want to see some Conk gameplay.
Yeah, that's a good shout. And then.
Oh fuck. Okay, sorry.
Oh, I'm tired. I can't wait to go to bed.
Wait, I don't know what the fuck that was. It should have been a drop Conk. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay, so I guess I don't have a 9aft on my computer because it's HUD comparisons is not comparing.
Oh no.
But I will. Oh fuck! How did I not make it? Oh, that's so embarrassing. So this is Conk. This is from Team Fortress Classic. This is the concussion grenade that scouts and medics could use. And the idea is, the further away from the grenade you are, the more it boosts you. It's kind of counterintuitive, but that's what our learn section's for. Fuck! I keep missing the radius. The radius is also kind of finicky. You have to kind of be a little close. There we go. And yeah, with it, once you throw it, you basically have a set timer for when it detonates. So you have to kind of position yourself. Unless these nerds are sticky jumping in my conk map. No, I'm just kidding. That's the beauty, right? That is the beauty of oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Oh no. That would have been sick if that made it. Fuck. Okay. Oh, that was too late. But conk is actually surprisingly a pretty approachable mode for new players to the game. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's got great base movement as well, like the
and it's not even fully TFC based yet. Like, we still have some
Yeah,
work to
feels
do.
pretty close, but yeah.
Am I beating the sticky jumpers at their own game? No, I'm just kidding.
What is this? Face. Someone's drawn. Homer Simpson.
Oh, I could have totally curved that. Whatever. Oh shit, here they come! That's not gonna be enough. Yeah, hold on. I fucked up my triple. They're just gonna air pogo their way.
Hey, did Happy actually fall asleep?
No, he's winning.
Well, yeah.
Ah, shit.
Oh god, I've still got like a bunch of stuff to do for 991.
Yeah.
Don't let me do
That's
that.
why I didn't want you to get too distracted with the graph.
The graph.
Ooh,
yeah,
the Rockets,
the
man, let's
graph
go.
had to be good. The graph had to be
Boom, baby. All right. It's not gonna submit. I don't care though. But I got a local run. That's all that matters.
good. Now you get another one, so you get the graph.
Oh yeah. Okay. Restart map. Let's start comparing. Let's see where I can save some
I kind of want to
time.
make it look a bit better if you don't have a comparison than it currently does. There's just not really much to display. But also, I forget, but we were gonna like embed the leaderboards as there, weren't we, for the to show your placement on the leaderboard.
No. I don't.
No,
I
you
think
wanna just
with
put
it
in the-
with it being in the leaderboards panel, it's already just yeah. You're already there. We could show your new rank in the kind of like XP section where we're
Yeah.
doing like new level and stuff. Like we could probably put some stuff down there, but
Oh no, we do want to do that for sure. Actually, that I mean, we're going to be hooking up the other
yeah.
other API stuff anyway.
All right, there we go. Curved it. Oh, too low. Oh my god, I almost did the shortcut. One of these days I'll get a proper... Oh god. Okay, there we go. No, I didn't throw it early enough. Fuck. Oh wait, I actually probably could have handheld that. Whatever. What am I doing? This is a double, I think. You just throw two? Yeah, there we go.
Good jump, Matt. Reset those to be fixed. In 010. We're not touching zone stuff until then. So, Matt will get all the triggers and stuff will get fixed up then.
Yes.
We do want to do it. It's just we do have to like schedule stuff in a sensible way. And what's your off styles, PB got? I think got some things.
I have not played off styles. I've seen it
That
though.
map terrifies me.
Yes, shortcut. I'm gonna get a fatty split. Oh, 3 second save. Let's go.
Gold split. We will do that eventually as well.
Yes, gold splits are also coming.
Was that 11 or 12? I think 12, right?
Boom! All right. Oh, the graph. Fuck. Line graph. Draw failed. What the fuck data did you just give me?
Wait,
there it is.
One and then go back. Yeah.
All right, there we go. So you can see. Oh, I lost a little bit of time in stage 7, but it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I can see. Ooh, how many strafes did I? That doesn't matter. Yeah. So that's it. I think we're 20 minutes over.
Yeah.
Was there anything else we should talk about? Because I'm hungry.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much good.
All right.
Yeah. 090, 091, sorry. On the very near horizon.
If anybody wants the raid, start streaming.
Oh yeah. Otherwise we'll go to the otters again. It seems like my default thing is like the otter conservation thingy.
Oh, okay. That's actually not
24/7
bad.
otters.
Not bad, actually. Yeah.
So good.
Or Bob Ross, right? Bob Ross was a big one.
And I'd go for otters. Yeah.
One more key for old time's sake, if anybody has one.
Happy, did you do all yours?
Apparently, I do have it.
Oh, okay. Moody's online?
What do we got?
I'm lazy to crypt it, so you know, whoever gets it, I guess.
The
I don't
automatic.
like doing the keys because it feels a bit like inhuman.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't like. It feels like I'm like throwing like food for pigeons or something, and I don't want to see people that way.
But yeah, so these are all coming 091. We'll go ahead and close the game here. Yeah, so who should we raid? Muti already has 182 viewers. I want to raid somebody with like 20 or less.
Yeah.
Ideally someone playing Momentum Mob, but there isn't anyone, according to our bot at least. Shoxy is surfing. Could raid them. Source Runs Marathon. Oh, true.
Sorcerer's Marathon's a good shout, actually.
True. Yeah, let's go raid them. Let's do it. All right. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We're gonna raid Source Runs. They're doing a source-related marathon. Which, hey, who knows? Maybe when Momentum releases, we might see see us in there. But yeah, raid message. Please play, and then your favorite game mode. I just usually default to Conk, but you can use any game mode. Please play, and then game mode, and then smile. Always smile. Thank you all so much for watching. You've probably seen Tom more than me, but I'm always happy to do these streams. And
well, there's the question: am I going to stream tomorrow as well?
Ooh, okay. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following for that.
Yeah,
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subbing if you've subbed, and we will catch you all in the next Q&A stream. Go and enjoy the Source Runs Marathon, and yeah, see you all later.
See ya.